Hey there, everybody. How are we doing? We are here to talk today about episode 5 of season 3 of House of the Dragon. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you to everyone who is joining on the rewatch. Make sure you like because it will help get the video out to more people. And today we have a guest for the first time this season of House of the Dragon Talk. Taco from Something
Whoa,
to Talk About.
how's it
How you
going?
doing? Good,
Uh,
good.
I'm doing good. Are we? We're talking about House of the Dragon?
Yes, it is. It's the show where Daemon Targaryen says this is the house of the dragon, and his dragons all over the house. It's that one.
Okay, not the one where it's just a house full of a bunch of dragons who are eating tacos.
No, no, that's a different one.
That's a
But
children's book, actually. It's not bad.
yes, yes.
Yeah, not bad as far as children's books
But
go.
all right, so we're letting everyone roll in here, get through the opening ad break, but we have got slideshow getting prepared. Let me know in chat. Good to see some people there in chat. Hello to everybody. Let me know in chat what you guys thought of this episode. And because Taco has not been covering House of the Dragon this season, we are also going to just be generally talking about the season so
Yeah,
far, as well as episode 5. So,
I
yeah.
uh I figured like since I normally don't talk TV show stuff too much, and then when I do, I feel like people aren't there for it because that's not what I normally do. So I try to like kind of show up on other places. I mean, I'm still watching the shows, so doesn't mean I'm loving them. I don't have the same relationship with the As Long as Ice and Fire TV shows as I do with the books, but I do enjoy them. So yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, if you've got any super hot takes, definitely feel free to share them. Also, obviously we'll keep spoilery talk till the very end because obviously you know the source material and all that. So
Yeah.
we'll just try to analyze without, going into anything that hints at what we know is coming. Which is it's kind of nice that at least some of the storylines are pretty much completely different from the source material,
Mm-hmm.
whereas now we can like actually speculate about them.
Yeah, I don't have to worry about telling you about how Maelor Targaryen dies because he doesn't exist. so,
Yeah, yeah.
so, anyways, him and
So,
Rickard Thorne. No, I'm kidding.
um, but yeah, yeah, yeah. So, um, let's roll with the slideshow here. Good to see some more of you popping into chat. Hello, hello to everyone. But yeah, this episode starts out with uh Oscar Tully chatting with Roddy the Ruin about Kristen Cole, who is flitting about them like a deer fly, doing his guerrilla warfare and all of that good stuff. And yeah, it's it is an interesting little situation that they're all in. Basically, they they're trying to make camp. Cole will just pop out of the woods, burn down a bunch of tents, and then run away in the night. And yeah, they don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, no one really likes being guerrilla tactic, especially. I mean, I don't really feel like outside of the Brotherhood Without Banners, there isn't really a lot of like guerrilla fighting happening. Like this is still the days where warfare is you bring 10,000 your friends, I bring 10,000 my friends, and we just kill each other, right? Which
Yeah,
I understand why some people don't want to do that. That doesn't sound very fun, especially for those 10,000 friends. But yeah, I actually really like this exchange. I also love the juxtaposition of the old Northman who is there to essentially just kill until he dies, and then the young lord who has all of his life ahead of him, and it just
yeah.
the absolute opposite. I love that. I think it's great.
Yeah, and this is one thing that I don't think they're gonna go into like fully explaining in the show, but I've talked about it in previous streams. Like these Northmen have straight up come down here to die so
Mm,
that their families don't have to feed them over the long winter that is coming because this show is taking place as winter is coming.
yeah,
So,
I believe in
yeah.
the book winter is just there.
Yeah.
And I feel like when we went to the north at the beginning of last season, when we went and met Cregan, it looked like wintry. It looked like more snow than we're used to, but or at least in the early parts of the books. But Yeah, everywhere else doesn't really seem very wintry. The book, it's just like very clearly the Dance of Dragons happening during the winter, which is,
Yeah.
is unfortunate.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder like how much of that is it actually that difficult to get like snow in a lot of their filming locations, you know?
I think it's honestly, it doesn't really come into the story. Like, I'm sure people have read
Right.
Fire and Blood and never even realized like that it's like because it really the only time it really comes up is after the war when it's like everyone's hungry
Yeah.
because we're like third year of winter, no one's harvesting, and all of our
Yeah.
peasants just died. So like
Yeah.
it's a bit of a bitch.
Yeah. But yeah, someone points out I did have this thought as well. Sir Kristen has employed Sir 20 of House Goodman,
Yeah.
and he's taken down the camp.
Is 10
But
Goodman 20 Goodman's grandpa? Is that it? I don't
yeah,
know the
I think
relation.
it's yeah, I think it was like if you follow the House Goodman family line way back, it's just counting in a row. So
I
it's
think
10
you just
generations before.
Oh, it's 10 generations. I think you just gave me my idea for my next April Fool's short. I think I do need to do a House Goodman short.
House Goodman, yeah.
That's pretty good. Landed Knights, I think, because they're always Sir 20 Goodman, not or yeah, Sir
Yeah.
yeah, Goodman.
Yeah. Um And so then we pop into Harrenhal, where Alice Rivers is constantly being bothered by door-to-door salesmen who are showing up at her house trying
Yeah.
to get Aemond out of there. So
I want to bring up we learned that Eamon's just napping in the other room, which I
yeah,
know there's 1,000 other rooms. Kristen Cole brought his damn army there last
yeah,
episode, and Eamon was just napping. No
yeah,
one
that is
knew.
funny.
That is just really goofy. I also just like how many, faceless guys with different accents show up just crawling to Harrenhal with like 4 people. If
Yeah,
somebody pitched to me, let's go kill Aemon One Eye, who's at Harrenhal and most likely has a dragon, I wouldn't bring 4 friends. That's not how I would do it.
yeah, and the problem is as well is like, damn, so you're going there to Harrenhal to face this dude who has Vagar so that
Yeah.
your friend can become Lord of Harrenhal? Like only one of them can claim the bounty. So yeah, it's an interesting situation. But yeah,
I'm getting called out in the chat, and I do agree. Yes, Harrenhal's a labyrinth. You can hide a Kristen Cole up in the attic. I do
oh yeah.
completely agree. And also, yeah, good point after that. His army does seem to be rather depleted, but still, I just find that funny. Like, we brought the whole
Yeah, I
army. Was
love that
Aemon there?
too.
No, but he's just he's
I
there.
love that too. They like search and it makes sense that they're like, well, Vagar's gone, so surely Aemond isn't here. And then
Yeah,
there's just so many different rooms and towers that he could be like recovering in. But
I
yeah.
don't. Are we gonna talk about Vagar just like traveling on the Riverlands later? Should I save my comments
Ye-
about that?
Yeah, I mean you can just mention it now. We don't have to go strictly in order. Everyone's seen the whole episode, I
Yeah,
imagine.
I was just gonna say, and this isn't a spoiler; it's a book comparison. But are they not doing Aemon flying around burning everyone? Like in this interpretation, Aemon isn't. They
Yeah.
took war crimes away from Aemon One Eye, which is
Yep.
really funny.
Yeah, that
So
seems to be what's happening.
yeah,
Yeah.
I find that really funny that the show is like, we don't need to pin more war crimes on the Aemon. So like, book Aemon does war crimes, doesn't try to make out with his mom. Show Aemon tries to make out with his mom, 0 war crimes.
Yeah.
It's Vagar is like
I mean
Trogdor.
it's not 0 war crimes. He did do
Okay,
the sharp points. But yes. Yes.
yeah, less war crimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, give it time. Yeah, it might still happen. Who do you think would win in a fight between Vagar or Trogdor?
Who is Trogdor?
Oh my God, sorry. Me and one of your chat are on the same
Yeah.
wavelength. The Burninator from Strong Bad's emails. Don't worry about it. It's some good stuff. Watch Trogdor the Burdinator when you're done with this. I'll send you a link.
All right. um, but yeah, so I do like Alice Rivers' whole like little speech that she gives about how the castle is like alive and it swallows the greedy and the heedless, and it's
Mhm.
watered with the blood of men. And she tosses her rock behind her, and all the bats just fly out, and she
Sick.
disappears.
Sick.
Yeah, it's
So
great.
let's treat this like show canon. So choose two separate canons, right? Because we know Alice Rivers in the books does crazy crap later on, but let's say that this is happening in the same world that Game of Thrones happens, right? So did
Okay.
the Ghostbusters show up between now and Game of Thrones? Because there's a lot of people just hanging out in Harrenhal, and there's none of this creepy crap going on in Harrenhal in Game of Thrones. Like we have whole seasons of people just there, and there's
Yeah.
none of this. It's just a
I
castle.
imagine that's because D&D just didn't like the magic that like that is the biggest
Yeah.
problem with the original series. I mean, it created many of the problems later on, but like yeah, they just straight up never were gonna do creepy Weirwood magic-y stuff anyway.
Boo. There is
Yeah.
less. There is still creepy, weird, magic-y stuff going on in the Game of Thrones books. Like when Arya's there,
Yeah.
there's a little, but there's not a lot.
Yeah, it's
It's
not
there's
as much.
definitely
No.
yeah, it's not super prevalent compared to like this. They're making Harrenhal just seem like a haunted, like welcome to like Walt Disney's haunted castle, like or haunted
Right.
mansion. Um
Yeah. And yes, this is also a thing. Like Alice may definitely be amplifying the magic as well.
you have a good point. Or maybe yeah,
She,
that's probably it. Like whatever she is in the show of like this, like almost avatar for Harrenhal's curse. Like she's almost like a walking embodiment of the
yeah.
wrath of Harrenhal, right? Like that's how I would
Hmm.
describe it. And then yeah, she's either finally died or she's just not there, or I don't know. Maybe she is just hanging out with Bruce Bolton and we just don't see those scenes.
Yeah. Yeah. Who knows? Um, but yeah, I like Eamon's storyline thus far this season. I mean, we haven't seen a
Yeah,
ton
we
of
haven't
what
seen a
he's
lot of it.
going through. We got a
Oh,
little bit in this episode, which we'll get to in just a second. But I enjoy any Harrenhal shenanigans so far that we've gotten.
yeah, I'm not hating it by any means. I find it funny that they have like the perfect Aemon storyline from the books, and they gave it to Daemon in the first season. So I was like, it's like because Daemon doesn't have any experience with alleys that we know of in the books, like when he's there, and then Aemon showed up, and I'm like, all right. So how are they going to handle this? Because I feel like they already kind of did that relationship, but with Daemon,
Yeah.
so I don't know. I'm excited because he definitely has like a mommy fetish or just like this nurturing older lady nurturing him is like the what he's into because I don't know, he has a bad relationship with his own mom, right? So
Yeah.
but I feel like I'm actually really interested to see if she's gonna like kind of give him a little bit of a face turn. And I'm hoping, no spoilers, but I'm hoping the big thing that happens between him and another main character. I don't want to spoil anything. I'm hoping that's the
Yeah.
end of this season. If you follow the storyline or the timeline, it should be about the end of this season. It shouldn't be getting into next season. And I think him kind of giving like a face turn, if you will, with wrestling terms, right before that is actually super interesting. If you kind of like
Yeah.
redeem Aemon for his big moment in the books, which I don't want to give away. But
Yeah, no, I think that interaction's definitely next season, just without saying any more. I would bet lots of money it's not this season.
I think it would be the best season finale ever.
Could be.
So
But yeah, so
not a fan.
to talk about, not to go too deep into potential future events, I do it's interesting how like he is also having dreams here where he's haunted by his brother. Like, and we don't need to see it because we saw it with Damon, so we now know
We
exactly
get it.
like
Yeah.
what he's dealing with here. And he says that he dreamed of his brother with his face burning. So like he's clearly being haunted by the fact that he tried to kill his brother, which makes complete sense. I mean, and it's the same thing Damon was somewhat haunted by, of like he chopped off young Rhaenyra's head and like he wanted the crown, and he's being like essentially poked at by the castle of like, hey, this was a bad thing that you wanted to do. Like your quest for power wasn't good actually. So
Yeah.
yeah, Aemond, you can only imagine what Aemond is seeing because he's like Daemon without the redeeming qualities.
As far as prophetic dreams go, Harrenhal like nightmares are all rather spot on. Like they're all
Yeah.
for Daemon, like, hey, you're undercutting Rhaenyra's power and you only love her to get power and you treated your brother like crap and you're in love with your mom. And it's like, well, all those are true down the board. And in
Yeah.
this one's like, you burned your brother and he wants to kill you. And then the next scene is just it's just Aegon going, I want to kill him. Like
Yep.
it's pretty down the like Harrenhal, like it does its research for its nightmares.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. And then we get the many cats being carried into the Red Keep in baskets.
Love
Yep.
it, dude.
And for those of you who stick around to the end, I have many cat pictures of my cats and the local strays or the local barn cats that I feed. So I will pay the cat tax at the end.
We are
because
likely,
I have been asked by some people to do that.
What's paying the cat tax mean?
You talk about your cats, you have to show pictures.
Oh, okay. All right, cat tax. Well, I don't have a picture of this cat because I haven't met him yet, but we already have found the which farm cat we're going to get from my wife's mom, and we're just trying to figure out which female, either a criminal or serial killer, we're naming her after, just to go with the motif of our animals, because our cat now is Al Capone, but there's not a lot of female like good gangsters. Although I'm pitching Zodiac because most likely a guy, but we don't know, and just calling her either Zodi or Zoe. That's my pitch.
That's good.
We'll see. Yeah,
that'd be good.
Yeah, thank you.
And yes, these cats are likely the ancestors of Sir Pounce and Balerion, the black cat who Arya chases.
Balerion the black cat. Yeah, hashtag like second favorite thing named Balerion. Morning. And Hustle Bones, we had a dog named Bonnie, and I didn't want to rename the Bonnie. That's why, Bonnie's the obvious one. Yes, you're right.
But I did think it would be a fun joke, like after the season, to like get a screenshot of every cat that we see from here on out through the rest of the season and give them fake names at the end of the season.
That
like
would
just
be
in
really
a short,
good.
be like, this one's name is this one's name is this.
Well, you gotta kind of go off of the naming conventions, and it's like Sir Pounce, is that Lady Whiskers? Oh my god, I have to look up the cats. But
Lady Whiskers and Boots.
Yeah, and Boots. Thank you. So kitty names and then dragons are like the names you have to go with.
Yep.
Cute names and Targaryen dragons, Valyrian gods.
Yeah. So then after Orwyle almost steps on a cat and has to avoid them, he is bringing some moon tea to Alicent and Helena on the down low, trying to keep it secret, but that doesn't quite work. So, do you have any vibes like on whether Orwyle is like, secretly supportive of Alicent and the Greens, or is he just actually doing the thing where he's like, look, I like you, but I serve whoever is in charge here, and Rhaenyra's in charge now.
I think Orwell is just trying to survive. Like I really like. I don't think of him as like I think he's pretty much what a maester should be, and that is try to serve the castle, not the lord, right? Like you serve at hest of this guy. You're not supposed to. It's Orwyle, right? Are we calling him Orwell?
Yes.
Orwyle. I was
probably autocorrect because George.
No,
R.
I think
names.
I say Orwell a lot. But I think he's just doing what he can, because you make one little F up with either of these, like say what we like about Rhaenyra, but you think Daemon won't chop, Orwell's head off? Like he will.
Yeah.
Like he also can die at any moment. When you're dealing with dragon lords, just be nice to the one closest to you.
He was, yeah, it's like that's the vibe I get too. He was like a second away from Aemon chopping his head off, and then Daemon shows up and he's just like, "Oh, Aegon is gone. Okay, I'm gonna kill you instead." And he's just like, "No, no, 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 no! I got a different guy you can kill." So he's very aware, I think, as well that like, yeah, he's in full survival mode and he's got to do what he's got to do.
Is it like Grand Maester Bennifer is like one of the only maesters where there's like a regime change and he somehow survives. And the only reason he does is because he ditches Maegor like 2 weeks before and then he's able to come back. But it's like, dude, like, or I guess Pycelle survives a regime change too. But yeah, which was barely, it's the least regime change of all the regime changes. The Baratheon one.
Yeah, he lets everyone survive. He's just like, I don't care. Just don't stab me and we're good.
As long as you're not like Alistair Thorne or Jeremy Riker, like they got sent to the wall, but everyone else just got promoted. I don't know.
Yeah. Yep. They just like stuck to it like a day too long. Everyone else bends the knee and they're just like, no, we're not ready yet. And he's like, okay, life of servitude on the wall. Get out of here.
Oh, that's pretty funny.
And then yes, Helena is told she has to drink a bunch of moon tea, and she does not want to. And this is an interesting bit of dialogue that Alicent's like, she will kill it. She will have no choice, as she is trying to kill it. Like,
yeah. A heavy scene for two dudes to talk about. Very heavy scene.
Yeah.
There's the juxtaposition of season 1 where like Moon Tea has kind of been a through line because this has been about royal women, and babies are either, depending on where you're at, it's either the thing you're wanted for the most or the thing that can kill you. Like if you're a queen and your king needs an heir, it's like, shut up and have a baby. But then if there's already an heir, it's like, don't have a baby.
Right.
And it's kind of horrible, like in every way of women's bodies are just there to either produce an heir or don't produce an heir. And that's all they're here for right now. And so it makes sense that Moon Tea is like a through line of the show because it's about, royal women in this world. But yeah, like Rhaenyra drinking it, Alicent, like kind of forcing it on a servant in that one episode, the one that Aegon sexually assaulted. Like, and now her like forcing to the last like pure person on the show. It's a tough watch. Hey, it is Taco.
Yeah.
What's that? The Bloodstone River?
Yeah, it is definitely not, as you said, a topic for two men to dive super deep into, perhaps. But yeah, there was definitely that vibe of Alicent being like, hey, this birth control is like genuinely a lifesaver for us. Like it has saved Rhaenyra, it saved me, it can save you. But like that is on one level, like, yes, obviously, like family planning and birth control is massively beneficial for women. But on the other hand, you're saying this to a woman who wants to keep her baby. So it's kind of got that like clashing, like Alicent being like, yeah, no, this is like the most amazing thing ever. Like, it's super helpful. And Helena being like, no, actually, though, I don't care. This is my baby. I'm keeping it. So yeah.
You have a commenter who I don't think they're misinformed. They're talking about how Alicent was picked because she had kids prior to her marriage with Viserys, and that she has older kids. She does not. Alicent does not have any older kids. I'm gonna check it out, but that's news to me if that's true. I don't think she was picked. I think she was literally just picked because Out of Hightower was the hand and he was just reaching for power. But yeah, her only kids, according to the wiki, that's gonna be the rest we're gonna go with. Yeah, Aegon, Helena, Aemond, and Daeron. I don't believe she has any kids prior. Sure, you can reach into conspiracy theories and be like, she had one with old man Jerry, but like I don't, you know, like I don't know, like those are conspiracies. She was, I believe she like read a book to Jaehaerys, and I know that that has led to fan theories. But yeah, anyways,
Yeah.
sorry, I
No, yeah.
I
That
saw the
good
comment.
to clarify for sure. But yeah, so then Helena is showing Alicent a little bit of her magic powers where she's just like, well, your brother Aemond has fled. We don't know where he is. She's like, he's at Harrenhal. And Alicent's like, no, he was there, but then now he's vanished. And she's like, no, I've seen him. And Alicent's like, what are you talking about? So yeah. It
Sorry.
like you gotta wonder how much Alicent has been like exposed to Helena just saying creepy, weird vision things that end up coming true. Because Aemond now fully believes Helena's visions because she called him out on a thing that he thought nobody else had seen, and
Mm-hmm.
she's just like, "I saw it," and so he's like, "Oh shoot, she knows." Like he says that
This,
to Alice Rivers later, or he might have even been in the first scene where he's like, "She said I ruined everything."
yeah,
And
yeah,
Alice is like,
and
"No, no, it's okay, buddy. You're all right."
I think it was Mushroom who says that he was sleeping with Jerry. Sorry, I'm reading your comments a lot. I
Yeah,
do
all
think
good.
like that one scene at the end of last season where Helena's like got her hair down and Eamon just goes and talks to her and she just goes full like Melisandre on him and it's like, dude, I
Yeah,
read the books. Like she just goes full book
yeah.
reader on her. What's up, yo? And I love that scene, but also doesn't feel like I don't know who that Helena was. Like that feels like a different Helena was in and with that scene gone, we're back to like the same Helena we had in the episodes before. And it's like that scene just
It,
feels so weird.
so I put out a video this morning talking
Yep.
about like why she needs
I
to
didn't
see the
watch it yet.
moon. That's
Yeah.
okay. It's a lot of like talking about how the moon seems to be like either a source of magic and visions or something that magic and visions can bounce off of, and it seems to be connected to the weirwood. So it's like Helena in that scene was just like seconds off of like reaching through the magical veil to talk to Damon at Harrenhal, which I think is probably why her personality was a little bit different. Like she's just come down off of this massive like magical trip and she's maybe feeling more confident
Yeah.
in herself and more, it's like right when you come out of like a dream or whatever, or like I don't know, like when you're actively like doing something that makes you feel powerful, you may be a little bit more different than
Uh or like,
normal.
one of those acid trips where you just like completely
Yeah.
shatter as a person. You have to rebuild yourself piece by piece and figure out who you are. And for like the next 2 weeks, you're about as sane as a human can be. And then the world comes in and then it gets all dirty again. But for that little bit, you're like, I am complete aware of all of my mind. That's where she's at. She just tripped. Like, I
Yeah,
get it.
basically that tracks. That tracks. Um, and so yeah, she says he burns but without fire. And I imagine that just means he's being like tormented by dreams and like he's
Mm-hmm.
potentially being like cleansed by the magic of Harrenhal. That I think that's what she's hinting at. I didn't know if you had a different take or
Like
anyone
burning
in
at both
chat.
ends. Like he's like a
Or
Forever 27. Like he's gonna make some really good music, but he's gonna die really young. And I like that's how I almost thought like his life is getting, you know, um Aria video.
uh yeah, tomorrow morning. It's been members only for the last
Mm.
like week or so. Long Aria video comes out on my channel tomorrow morning for all of you to enjoy.
It's all right, Schluff. I'm also not a member, and I'm his friend. So
Yeah,
don't feel bad.
no pressure. I don't have members only content. I just have members first
Yeah.
content. So, yeah. Um,
Yeah, that does stink when it's like when it's members only forever, like because it
yeah.
still shows us normies. Like I'm a
Right.
big fan of like a couple channels where every once in a while I'll see and I'm like, oh, when did this video come out? This looks like an amazing video, and I click it, it says members only. I'm like, well, why are you showing me? I don't want to know about it. Your members
um.
long? That's good.
Yes. Yes.
Only.
But yeah, so if anyone in chat has any other takes, but yeah, I think him burning without fire is him being like tormented, possibly cleansed, like similarly to Damon. I think that's all that she's hinting at, but it is one of the interesting lines of the episode for sure.
Yeah, I get, you know, you definitely can. I think it can be that way. I'm not disagreeing. I do like the idea of like you're how do you say it? Like you're burning your life up. Like he is just being so extra, and you know you can't live in excess forever. Like your heart's gonna explode. Like you can't just be a ball of passion for too long. Those people die early, you know.
Yeah,
burning for revenge. Yeah, I can see that.
I do like the idea of like, yeah, he's infected, his wound is festering. That's like a burning sensation potentially. So that is also another good reading, I think. But
hey, there's a new member. Well, there we
thank you for the membership. Yeah, you can now check out the Arya video as soon as this stream is over. So
that's awesome. Did you don't really do the YouTube stuff and say, hey, send super chats if you have a question, because we got a lot to get through, right?
I mean, I do appreciate the super chats, but yes, we do actually have to somewhat pick it up because I do have a lot of slides here.
I think we got to get, I'm going to try to get my head out of the chat a little, but if you absolutely have a comment or a question for me and Michael, this is his stream. My name's Taco. Send him a super chat because this guy works really hard.
Yeah, thank you.
And look at that.
And I don't know if we said, I think I said it at the beginning, but Taco's channel is something to talk about. Hopefully you guys know who he is, but you can check him out as well.
Subscribe, yo. I got a video tomorrow. I'll tell you about it before I leave.
Yeah. Nice. Alice Rivers, the ayahuasca shaman. Absolutely.
Dude, love that. Like, that's kind of what's going on. People are traveling to Harrenhal to do ayahuasca trips. Like, that's kind of what's been happening.
Yeah. But yes, so then Sabbatha Frey shows up and she's upset that she's not actually getting Harrenhal as she was promised, and Rhaenyra is like, well, I'm giving you a place on the council instead, so you're gonna have to accept that. And I love this little dynamic in the small council. Like, it's so funny, but it also makes sense, right? Like, she is the new council member. Torrin Manderly was the previous new council member. And he's just like had to learn all of this on his own. So he's like giving her the explanation. Like it's like when you got a new girl at work and you're just like, hey, that's this person. He does this. That's this guy. Don't piss him off. Like all that. Like he's just leaning over, telling her all of the stuff. And then Daemon like stares at them and stops talking like he's the teacher who caught them whispering in class. And the whole dynamic is just amazing.
I loved it so much. Also, I'm trying to get the guy's name. Do you remember off the top of your head who's playing Torrin Manderly? Do you recognize him, by the way?
Yes. What is his name?
I normally know it. I'm
Fogler. Is that am I making
Dan Fogler? Dan Fogler. Go back in time to I want to say like 2009 or 10. But Fanboys was one of my favorite shows of all time because I'm a big Star Wars guy, and I absolutely was back then. But he is amazing in that movie. And there was like a little while where he was like, oh, watch out for this guy. He's going to be like the next big comedic actor. And it just never happened. And I was like kind of a little sad. So him showing up to play Torrin Manderly, it's definitely a departure from the books because Torrin Manderly does have a part to play, and it's not this one. And luckily we have Sabbatha, weird name, Sabbatha Frey. Either be Sarah or Tabitha. You can't be both. But anyways, Sabbatha Frey also huge part for the Dance of Dragons, but not this part. She's a warrior.
Like, yeah, it is interesting.
It's weird that they switched her up. Like her and Forrest Frey should be down there in the front lines effing stuff up, but they completely changed the phrase, which is fine. But it is weird that he's an amazing or that he's an American actor. I found that very interesting too. Like Peter Dinklage.
Thank you, Mayo Nation, for the super chat. Your support is appreciated. So I love this as well, where he like talks about Miss Arya and she's like, oh, the whore. Like I made the joke that Rhaenyra, when she first like abandoned her Dragonstone council, that she's making her own council with Team Black and hookers instead of blackjack and hookers. Like that is basically what's going on here. So
I
yeah,
like
I love that she's just like, wait, oh, that one, the whore.
I
So yeah,
like that he's doing gossip in front of the people. Like, oh, that one's sleeping
yeah,
with this one now, like he's watching TV. And then Damon's
yes,
just giving him the 10-mile stare, and Torrent doesn't even fucking acknowledge it. He
yeah,
does not give a fuck.
it's so great. It's so
Um,
great. They just like stop, like they've been caught talking in class. Like I said, it's just great. And then yeah, Damon talks about how the gold cloaks are being killed in the streets, and then Torrin says that Flea Bottom's quite ungovernable and full of undesirables.
I mean,
Um, yeah, yeah,
I mean, it's
makes some sense.
rather I don't know. I think undesirables is rather harsh, but
Yeah,
ungovernable is on point.
yeah. Mm-hmm. And then they talk about how Kristen Cole's doing guerrilla warfare on the army in the Riverlands, and Rhaenyra wants Daemon to go out and deal with uh, Cole, and most importantly, try to find Vhagar and Aemond. And Daemon's just like, I'm not doing that. I need to stay here in the city and take care of the gold cloak situation because you aren't paying the cops and they're being killed in the streets. So if I leave, it's going to just be a massive revolt. And so Rhaenyra sends Bela and Adam rather, out to continue scouting.
Mhm.
And Adam is standing up for Bela, saying that she hasn't eaten or slept, and Bela's just like, no, actually, I'm fine. I can keep flying. Not a big deal. And then yeah, Damon like puts his foot down. He's like, I'm not leaving until we've dealt with this business in the city, and storms out. And then Sabbath Afraid is just like, is it always like this? And Torrin's like, yeah,
Yeah,
basically, like, yeah,
yeah.
pretty much so far. It seems to be the way that it goes. And then, yeah, this whole small council meeting, the whole dynamic was amazing. Um,
I definitely liked it. It doesn't seem cohesive. Like they don't seem to be on the same page or even on a page. And they got to
yeah,
bring the balls back because without the conversation pillow, you don't know whose turn it is to talk. And they all just kind of hang out and yell and leave. They got to bring back the
yeah,
balls. That's all I'm saying.
yeah, maybe that would help. That Are you saying that the problem is you can't govern without balls, Taco? Is that what you're trying to
Um,
say?
Specifically, big granite balls and balls as in cojones, which is also something women can have, not physical, but like balls,
Metaphorical balls.
metaphorical balls, cojones. And Rhaenyra does have metaphorical balls.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Um,
Damon
yeah.
does too.
Yeah, so then Rhaenyra is angry at Daemon for disobeying her and storming out because she is the queen, and she's asking like, so do I need to compete with you again on every little thing? And Daemon's basically just like, well, I'm gonna do what you said, but I'm gonna do it later because there's something more important to be done right now. And he's right. That's the interesting thing about this interaction. And later on, Rhaenyra will admit that he was right and she was wrong. So like, I don't know if you're the same way, Taco. I brought this up. I was on David Lightbringer's stream right after the episode, and I brought up that like, when an authority figure tells you to do something that's clearly the wrong thing and you know that it's the wrong thing to do, like you do just I feel a very strong desire to just do the correct thing anyway.
I
Like,
uh,
I don't
I
know.
I don't know if you know who you're talking to, but I have the biggest problem with authority than
I
probably anybody you know.
I didn't want to speak for you, but I assumed that is what you were going to
um,
say. Yeah.
I mean, if somebody told me like don't poke that, I'd go, why? Like that's how I was my
Yeah.
whole life. And especially I have a thing at my work that these guys don't have, and that's HR. So when my boss tells me to do something stupid, I don't have to do it. And if they force me, I could just go to HR and be like, this guy's trying to get me hurt. like,
Yeah, that
but
helps.
I am definitely chaotic good. I I've never liked the idea, and I'm gonna make this really quick, but that you have to respect an authority figure, but you earn their respect. And that's always bothered me. Like either we both respect each other, or no one respects each other. Like there's no, I'm not going to say yes, sir, if you treat me like crap. Like that's just always an issue I've had. I'm going to listen to you if you're my boss, but I'm not going to wag my tail and be happy about it if you're being a dick.
Yeah.
But that's,
Well,
anyways.
Yeah, and I'm not saying Damon doesn't respect Rhaenyra, but also on a certain level too, just on that topic. Like respect is almost an involuntary thing, in my opinion. You can't respect someone who you don't respect, you know? Like
yeah, it's hard.
It's like you can listen to them, but you won't actually respect them. It's like what do you believe? Like you can't make yourself believe something that you just straight up don't believe. Like you can't make yourself respect someone that you just straight up actually don't respect. It is kind of a thing that is earned no matter what. But yeah, I'm not saying Damon doesn't respect Rhaenyra here, but he recognizes that what she's asking him to do would be a bad choice. And as I said, we'll get to it later, but Rhaenyra in a moment will recognize that as well.
But it also does go both ways, is that even if Rhaenyra she's not informed and Damon's not really the guy to sit down and explain anything. He just says, hey, let's do this. She says no. And instead of being like, all right, so my time when I was in the, in charge of the Gold Cloaks, what I have learned, blah, 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 blah. If he explained it, but instead he's like, no, you, like, it definitely goes both ways that if they just actually talk to each other, they would have came to a good understanding or better understanding. But yeah.
And so then Joffrey has returned from the Vale, and Rhaenyra looks like sad and doesn't want to go see him right away. And I don't know if you have thoughts on this. My thoughts are essentially that he looks like her two sons who have just died somewhat recently, and she's still grieving Jace and doesn't really want to have that conversation with him right now, because it will be the first time they've spoken since Jace has died.
That's definitely part of it.
Yeah. She doesn't want that right now.
Remember that meme scene from one of the not good scary movies? It's like 3 or 4. But when it's just that one guy goes, everybody around you is dying. And this kid's like, and he's like, That's like a kind of that unthoughtful meme is kind of like what I'm thinking that Rhaenyra is thinking, is that every one of her loved ones that she goes and talks to gets killed by a dragon or dies somehow.
Yeah.
Because she's now lost 2 kids, like boom, boom. And like maybe there's a guilt there, like almost a survivor's guilt of like, I don't like stay away from me. I'm cursed right now. And I think it's a little bit of that and a little bit of what you said of just like grief too, and like seeing, man, she doesn't have a chance to grieve, and she even had a stillborn kid at the 2 weeks ago too. Like she lost her baby, and then right after that, her middle son dies, and then right after that, her older son dies. I don't do well with grief. I don't know many people who do. But the number one thing you're supposed to do is feel the grief. And however it's supposed to manifest, you manifest it and you don't ignore it. And if it manifests in a way where you're not feeling it, or if you're inconsolable, if you're crying, or if you're angry, however that is, you go with that, because that's what your body needs to do, or your mind has to do to get over it. But the last thing you should do is bury it, because burying grief, that grief doesn't go away. You do have to burn it. You do have to let that grief fire go through you. All that being said, she has a realm to run with a bunch of people who love to argue, and she hasn't had a chance in any way to grieve anything. And it's just horrible for her, and no wonder why she's just not doing well, and why all of last episode was just her having a panic attack for an entire episode. Of course, because her mind's a fucking knot right now. Looks like they're trying to do something with Finn Balor. What? Sorry, I told myself I'd get out of the chat.
All good. But yes, so then the next scene, because we do have to, if you got to get out of here at some point, we do got to.
In about an hour, I got about an hour.
Yeah. we're on slide 29 of like 130.
Okay, so I'll try to shut up a little bit.
But yeah, so we got the scene of Aegon and Larys trekking through the woods, and he wants to go kill his brother, and Larys is like, dude, you can't walk, you're hungry, we'll starve on our way to Wendish Town or Harrenhal, like, we're not gonna make it through the woods. And Aegon just freaks out, and he says, stop telling me what I can't do. Every one of my miseries is of his making. I swear by the warrior himself, I'm going to find him and fucking kill him. And I love the comedic timing of Larys just being like,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
then just nods, like he's slowly realizing what exactly he's gotten himself into. And yeah, this whole scene is just very funny.
It's fantastic. I didn't think we would see any of these guys because in the books we don't really until they
Yeah.
like Aegon flees
Yeah.
and then he comes back. I'm not spoiling anything. I'm just saying like
Yeah.
you're in the book you kind of forget about him.
This
And then
this
it's
is one
like-
of those this is one of those arcs that we can somewhat try and be like, I
We-
wonder where this is going, because it's
Yeah.
very different.
It's kind of like Theon and it's kind of like Theon where you miss him for
Yeah.
a book and a half in the books, but in the show they're like, no, let's tie him to the freaking torture rack and let's see him become real.
Let's show
right?
what happens. Yeah.
Let's show what happens
Yep.
because everyone wants to see that. So, I mean, probably best performances of the entire show. But anyways, I up there. But this is winning me over. I had no interest in seeing two people who I hate. Like I hate, and I still hate both of them. But I mean, I'm kind of starting to like. I'm starting to look forward to them, and I was not. I was hating. I hate these guys, but I'm like kind of, seeing where I want to know where this goes.
Yeah, basically every scene that they're in has been amazing ever since they sort of teamed up and became the weirdest comedy duo in Westeros. So yeah,
Clubfoot and Mangleface.
yeah, yep.
Heck yeah, man, let's go.
Yeah. And then so Mysaria visits Alicent and Helena and says, hey, basically I heard Orwyle drop something off. You should show it to me. And she tries to say it's medicine for Helena's headaches, and Mysaria sniffs it, and she's just like, this is moon tea. And Alicent knows that she knows, so she's just like, well, I took a lover after Viserys, and then she downs the moon tea herself. And like we do get a little scene later where you can tell her stomach is just really killing her. And it's just like a 5-second or so silent scene of her just sitting there like holding her stomach, being like, oh, this sucks. And then she takes her necklace off. But
this is like the most baller thing. Listen, like she's doing it for Rhaenyra or Helena. She's like protecting her, but like she calls like Myzaria's like bluff, or Mysaria calls her bluff, and then she follows through. Like when I saw it, I was like, holy crap. She's like, oh really? It's for you? And she's like, yeah, I love it.
Yeah, like, yep, this is my medicine. I didn't want to take it, but I guess I really should delay no longer. Here we go.
The performance here I thought was fantastic too. But like, and also, so Cindy not Cindy, after Viserys, that was like a week ago. He died. He just died.
Yeah, I mean, I do believe her. I do believe her in general that it was after Viserys, like at least to the point where I don't buy any of the theories that Daeron is Kristen Cole's kid, because he wouldn't have a dragon if he was. So yeah,
you don't think she was sleeping with Kristen Cole until after Viserys?
More or less, like it could have been like it started like after he was like so bedridden she knew they were never going to sleep together again type of thing, but it wasn't like long enough ago for Daeron to be Kristen's
I don't think Daeron is Kristen Cole's kid. I do think that they were, I think her thing with Kristen was going on for longer though. I think it was Viserys.
Possibly.
At least like that last time jump, right? So the one that when we first got to the timeline that we're on now, because there hasn't been time jump since then where it jumps to her kind of half ruling the realm for Viserys, and then they do the last supper scene and all that time jump. I think that she was banging Kristen sometime before then, like in this entire time, but I don't think
Yeah.
any timelines before that.
Yeah, that I would believe. Like once Viserys was so milk of the poppied up that he was just never getting out of bed,
Dude, his
like she
face is
could
gone, man.
justify in her mind that that was after Viserys.
Like
So
his face was gone. Like,
yeah,
like you love your king all you want, but I'm not making out with the dude with an empty eye socket. Like, what are you talking? You got leprosy or
yeah,
something. I'm not playing with your
yeah,
body.
yeah.
But yeah.
Um.
Anyways,
So yeah, then we get this scene of Gwaine trying to talk Kristen Cole out of his like suicide march, where he's just like, "Have you ever seen the high tower in Old Town as the sun rises?" It's like Kristen's like, "Dude, I don't care," and he's like, "Me and Ormond used to play a game where we would start at the base of the tower before dawn and try to run up and be the first one to see the sunrise." And he mentions that he had to let him win because even then he was a thin-skinned twat, which is very funny and will pay off in just a
yeah,
moment.
yeah. Hashtag will pay off.
Yeah,
Man, I like Gwaine.
Gwaine is great. Yeah,
I
this
like
whole
his
dynamic
weird,
is great too.
I like his weird face paint and his weird wiry hair and his weird face. He just looks so much like a high tower. I love this whole scene of like so about that whole getting all of us killed thing. Do you
Yep.
want to not?
Yeah, like
and
every scene this episode between them was basically great. Him just like slowly like worried that Kristen is marching them all to their death and trying to talk him out of it, and slowly like the realization dawns on him later when Kristen's like, "Yeah, I plan to go die in battle and I want to die so gloriously that your sister hears songs about it." And he's just like, "That's why we're doing this? So that my sister can hear about you in a song? She will You could just come back to Old Town and keep sleeping with her after the war, man. Like, she didn't even break up with you, really. She just, like, sent you off to battle because you made her not Hand of the King anymore. You, you can fix this, bro." And he's just like, "No, too far gone. I just want her to hear about how gloriously I died." And it's just like, oh no, he's broken.
I
The
like
look on Gwaine's face is great.
it's like dude, are you going through something? Yeah. Are you you're suicidal right now? No, actually, I'm entire army. I wanna
Yeah.
all of us killed. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
what? don't
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah, he's like, "I'm taking you all with me."
Take it,
Actually, he's just like,
the
"No,
entire army with me.
no."
Like, dude, no, I'm part of that. I don't want to do that.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
yeah,
Yeah, this again, like when it comes to the buddy cop episodes or sequences, like there's a
yeah,
few good buddy cops. And this is a good one
yes,
too.
yeah. I love how like Kristen Cole's entire arc is basically like, you have no idea how hard it is to be used as a piece of meat by two of the most desirable and powerful women in all of the realm, and to want the two richest houses in all, or to have the two richest houses in all of the realm wanting you to work for them and live in their big fancy castles and have nice meals and be in charge of things all the time. Like, my life is so hard. Just all these women want me. All these rich people want to give me money and let me live in the nicest houses. It's so tough.
I've only banged 2 queens.
Yeah. I swore a vow of celibacy and women keep throwing themselves at me anyway.
It's okay. I only banged the most powerful women in the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
What
The realm's
man.
delight, the literal queen, like all of them just want me so bad. You don't know how hard it is.
You know what it's like to, be a complete self-earned, or like be an extremely talented guy who makes his way all the way up to Hand of the King. It sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I
Yeah.
think you suck, actually. But
Yeah. And then here's the scene where Alicent is just suffering from the moon tea, and she sees one of the maids outside, takes her necklace off, which we will get to a little later on. And then Daemon is here telling Sir Luther, like, "Hey, listen to the queen, but don't do everything that she says. Bend the instructions to do the right thing. That's what I do." Just like, you know. Like, listen to her, but don't listen to everything she says. You know, man. Like, you can do it. I believe in you.
It's about getting the job done, but you don't have to do it the way your boss tells you. Like just at the end of the day, when she walks by and it's handled, she's not gonna ask how.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
might.
And then yeah, we then find some more gold cloaks dead in the streets, and it is not a pretty sight.
Oof.
And then we see this guy, which shout out to Fantasy Haven, who correctly predicted that this guy was going to be leading some of the resistance.
That
Do
guy?
you know where this guy was from? Like where
I
we saw him
know
before?
who he looks like, which is a bunch of different actors. But
Oh,
I don't know. No, he just has that face. No, I didn't recognize him at all. I guess I wasn't paying enough attention to Fantasy Haven.
there
Um,
will be many cats at the end, but yeah, in
yeah.
Fantasy Haven and Quinn's live stream where they were talking about the episode where Rhaenyra took King's Landing, uh, Alicent and Helena go up on the walls to the guards, and instead of finding the commander, they find a random soldier and they ask him, "Where's the commander?" And it is this guy.
This
He
dude.
points out the commander. And what Fantasy Haven noticed was that this guy had heterochromia, and they give him like a full on face shot and then show him taking off his helmet and frustratingly walking away when the commander lays down his arms. And this actor doesn't have
Oh.
heterochromia. Whereas, so like they gave the actor or they gave the character heterochromia in post production and
Yeah.
like lingered on him multiple shots. And so Fantasy Haven predicted that he was going to have a bigger role later on. And yeah,
All right.
he absolutely nailed it. So shout out to Fantasy Haven for that one.
Yeah, absolutely
Yeah.
nailing it. That's what I get for not noticing heterochromia right away. I don't know.
Yeah.
When Shawshank Redemption, they say, how often do you look at a man's shoes? I don't look at a man's eyes enough, I guess. Or both of them.
Yeah.
Maybe I just look at one eye. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, so this is the former Hightower guard who didn't want to lay down his arms. And assuming, we can assume there are many such who, you know, they laid down their arms and their swords as Daemon and Rhaenyra walked into the castle, but they didn't like it. And then they just kind of melted away into the shadows. And that is what we're dealing with.
As horrible as if you take over a regime change, you just need to like get rid of everybody. And as much as I'm like, dude, I don't like the idea of just mass killing, but at least vet them a little, like at least like, hey, who hired you? Was it Otto Hightower? Oh, you guys are old friends? Okay, cool. Go to the wall. Just like go through everybody, and if they were like, oh, I've been here for a long time and I've always liked Viserys and I never like whatever, but as soon as people are like, like he's a Hightower guy, like, of course,
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, some people are bringing up in the chat as well that why don't they give the Targaryens purple eye color in post? And I do hope one day we get in a Song of Ice and Fire show where they bother to give them all purple eyes. I imagine it would be very difficult to do for like every main character. That's probably why like House of the Dragon didn't do it. But at the same time, I don't know. Maybe we'll get a show where there's like only a couple Targaryens as like side characters, or I don't know. Maybe the Aegon's Conquest movie will.
Oh, you mean like
purple
like
eyes.
a Game of Thrones?
Yeah,
there was one.
Yeah, right. Honestly, like Game of Thrones could have been an interesting case because like there is the question of how purple are Jon's eyes because they look gray, but like gray and light purple. If you're convinced like he's a Stark, he would have gray eyes, like in the right lighting with the black hair. Like, maybe Jon actually has light purple eyes, and that would give something away. But like, yeah, I do hope we one day get a purple-eyed Targaryen in one of the shows.
What's is it like dark blue? Is what Aegon what fake Aegon looks like, possible fake. I'm just using that one so you know who I'm talking about. But it's like dark blue, and as long as he has blue hair, you can't tell, right? And then as soon as they dye it, it looks.
That's the thing, is like the dark violet eyes sometimes look dark blue, and the light purple eyes sometimes look gray. So there's that ambiguity for a lot of people, unless you're like Ashara Dane with like the haunting violet eyes.
Yeah.
But yeah,
cool.
it's a thing where it would be interesting. But yeah, I don't know if John actually has purple eyes or not, but if they did it in the main series, they may have had to give him like the light purpley gray eyes, and that may have given something away. So I don't know. But yeah, so then he sends the little pigeon out to Ormond saying gold blood spilled, 3 marked in the tally, the account lies open. So yeah.
So that means we're killing folk for you and keep paying us.
Yep, exactly. I did see someone, because later on we'll see the Darren coin in the guy's boot. I saw someone make the joke of like, I can't believe Ormond paid his murder hobos with the only traceable bit of coinage in the entire realm, but it's like, no, that was the point. He wants it to be traced back. He wants them to be scared of him.
Yeah. So if what you just said is true, then yeah, you're right. Okay, cool. But if he didn't want it to be traced back, it is the dumbest thing ever. So yeah, as long as it is the idea of like, here's a clue so they know.
Yeah.
If it's a Riddler thing, let's say, yeah, he's Riddlering. Okay. But if
he wants to intimidate Daemon and Rhaenyra, yeah.
But it would be really dumb. Like if he's like, hey, there's only 5 of them, and I'm gonna give them to a dude who's probably gonna get murdered. It's like it reminds me so much of the coin with the old Gardener King on it that Cersei finds, right?
Yeah.
And it's such easy, like, and it's in Rugen's cell, right? So you just clearly assume, because it's such obvious evidence, that it's planted by somebody. That's like, all right. Anyway, so I'll do accept payment with counterfeit coins.
Yeah, but back in the day where gold was gold, it wasn't that odd.
The face don't matter. The face don't matter. As long as it's the size of gold coin. It could be freaking anything. Yeah.
Yep. But so then Ormond is talking to Darren, and he's been studying histories for days of the Hightower forebears, and he calls them dry histories. And Ormond is not a fan of that word.
Yeah.
He says, dry, did you say? And Darren's like, oh, no, all I meant was that some people might consider them dry, but I love them. I love being able to venerate our ancestors.
Oh my God. Darren, like, the guy. Like, what's with this slip up, man?
Yeah.
Yeah, just reading about your crappy family, not one of the cool dragon families like my other wait, no, what I meant was and you know what I'm gonna say right now, with somebody who is non-biased on this, the Hightowers do not have a dry history. I love the Hightowers. Like, they are one of the most, they are top 10 interesting families. So maybe Darren is just bad at reading.
Yeah. And so then he has him talk about all the things he's been learning about, and he asks if he's been learning about Miriam Martell, which he hasn't. And so he says he'll have to have a word with his tutors, and he gives a little lesson on how Miriam Martell did like Dornish guerrilla warfare to thwart the Targaryens and the dragons. And because of that, Dorne remains unconquered even today.
DC's Dorne. Miria the Yellow Toad is, oh my God, I love that character so much. I love her conversation with Rhaenys when Rhaenys first flies in, and she's just like, yeah, this is gonna work out. Like, you should just leave. Like, you can try all you want, but a lot of people are gonna die, and it's not gonna get anywhere. Like, say what you want about the Martells, but like, they're pretty good at not being conquered. What's up, yo?
Panicking Kiwi, hey. Panicking Kiwi has some good Ice and Fire Theory videos for those of you in the chat who don't know. I assume that he has probably heard of Miriam Martell, at least in passing, but he just hasn't been studying her, because like he was studying his Hightower forebears and
Yeah, she is not
like
a Hightower forebear.
right. I imagine that is why he's just like, oh, but I'm gonna teach you about this now because she withstood the dragons, which is the exact position that we're in. So that's why I'm gonna give you this lesson now. Is I
Yeah.
think what he is saying here.
To defend him not knowing who the Yellow Toad of Dorne is we're nerds and we are reading this history book because we want to. But now think how many people know who, you know, pick random person who we fought in a war with's mom is. Like,
right.
you know, like I don't know that person's mom, you know, like so
right.
it's funny when we think like, oh, doesn't this character know all the history? No, they don't. Like, we do because we're nerds, but yeah, they know.
Like so and then so what he says about her is that she's the only woman in history who the gods have gifted with a truly military mind, but to counter things, they made her really ugly in return. It's
oh my
like,
god.
okay, Ormond.
This is
okay, buddy.
the only just like he's chauvinistic and then apologizes for not being chauvinistic enough and then doubles down.
Yeah. And then we get our first look at a Savas board that we've seen so far.
All right. I want to know. I want you guys to sound off in the comments. Am I the only guy who got mad like Savas wasn't really around in Westeros yet and it's just becoming popular in Westeros during the books and this whole show is a sham? That's literally what I thought when I saw it. I was like, no, what?
Yeah, I did briefly bring that up when I was chatting with David and crew afterwards too. Like, yeah, it does just come over in the last like year or two.
Yeah, that's the whole point. Yeah,
in the book series, but
everyone's getting into it, and then the majority of people who are playing it are in Essos or like Dorne, which is like Essos light. Like they get a lot of stuff first.
Which is a weird, interesting thing to be like, oh, chess was just invented a year or two ago. That is also like that's the thing I've always thought about it in the books too. Is it's like, it's weird that like this game that is basically chess was just invented. But I suppose there was a point in history where chess was just invented. So I guess that's just where we're at.
Probably my volume. Now. I'm really loud. Sorry, guys. It's my actual physical volume out of my face. So
is the volume like? Are we very vastly different? I don't know exactly how to fix that. I can try adjust. I don't know.
I think I just I just get excited when I'm really loud. Yeah. I think it's like yeah, it's not volume, it's chill. Yeah, no, yeah, that's
as long as I don't have to adjust settings. I can't adjust Taco's enthusiasm.
You know how you and every other YouTuber in the world is able to just talk at your normal speaking volume when you're performing and you can just like record you talking at a normal volume? I can't do that. I think it's just like the performer in me. Like I was in stage plays for a very long time. And I just, anytime I'm like presenting anything, I just naturally project. And also I'm just loud to begin with. So my mic is as far back on my table as I can put it. Like literally that's, it's turned down and I can't even reach it. It's over there and I'm still loud. So yeah.
Fair enough. I will. Let's see. I'll see if I can turn my mic up a little bit because I was told I am somewhat quiet. I'll see what I can do.
You're just chill, dude.
But yeah. So, they're chatting about Miriam Martell and how she would like abandon her castle, and then she would let's see. So I can't adjust my mic volume while keeping it on the setting that like normalizes
I think you're fine. I'll just try to stop yelling. Do you want to hold them over and just show like one or two cat picks? Because I don't want to riot. Or if you want to hold it
after Savas scene, we will go briefly to cat picks.
Just a couple. I just don't want to. I don't want to piss people off. Yeah.
Yes, but so yeah, they ask if she's a hero or a villain for the fact that she was like murdering dragons and like she would abandon her castle and then they'd show up and be like, "Oh, nobody's here. This is awkward. What do we do?" And then they would leave like a small garrison there. Then they would just emerge out of like the basement and slaughter everyone once the dragons left.
The defenestration of Sunspear. Hell yeah. Like literal, like she shows up after they like abandon the castle, and then a Rosby takes over Sunspear. And this is Yellow Toad. She didn't go anywhere. Like she doesn't know she can't ride a horse. She's like 80 years old, and I'm not yelling, you're yelling. But
yeah.
She must have just been in a different room. And then she just shows up and throws the dude out a window.
Oh yeah, they just go in the basement and like pop up out of the secret tunnels in the walls and all that stuff. Like
we've talked about before of how a Game of Thrones has enough defenestrations, so we could have a conversation about defenestrations, which is just the act of throwing somebody out a window. Like it's literally the inciting incident of Game of Thrones, of its brand getting pushed out a window. Like there's enough defenestrations, guys. Whenever you want to talk about it, I'm down.
Yep.
I'm here.
Yeah. But so Ormond says that the thing that House Targaryen has on their side is power, their armies, the obscenity of their dragons. But a cunning mind can resist even the most savage of beasts. And then as soon as he says that, the next move in the Savas game is Darren making one move with his dragon right to the center of the board. And Ormond getting very upset. Like you can see it on his face here. He is like slowly processing that the dragon piece has just lost the game, or lost him the game. And you can see Ormond's dragon piece as well is still sitting directly in front of him, which to me implies that he just hasn't used it.
Yeah, he didn't want to use it.
Yeah, he was like morally opposed to using his dragon piece in the chess game, and therefore gets beaten by the dragon. And
it's pretty hilarious.
It's great. I put out a whole video about like this specific like little. It was about how Ormond wants to be Otto Hightower. Like the grand design of all of his schemes is that he would place a puppet Darren on the throne and get to basically be Otto, the way that Otto and Alicent were for Viserys when he was sick.
Yeah.
So like the highest level of power that Ormond is aspiring to is literally just to be Otto from season 2. So,
but Otto was never Lord of the Hightower.
Or season 1 rather.
Yeah,
sorry.
But like
second half of season 1. But
he's already more powerful than Otto, because Otto was well, all right. I mean, Hand of the King, but he was the second son. He's like, I love the mirroring of the book scene where, dude, I have rage quit chess. Like I'm telling you, man, I have flipped a chessboard in my life. I don't know if you have. I've also thrown a lot of Magic cards during tournaments.
I have not.
Oh, you don't rage
not flipped a chessboard.
I have. Oh man, I've thrown my entire 60 card Magic deck when 60 because I wasn't playing standard. But yeah, no, like I've like, man, I used to. Dude, I was way too competitive when I was in my teens. But I want to say, I love how much this mirrors the book scene with back to Aegon Targaryen, young Griff, with Tyrion, and young Griff always uses his dragon right away, right? And I thought that was really cool. As much as hashtag not my Syvass, but yeah, it was a really cool scene.
Yeah, and that's the other thing I brought up in my Syvass. I did a whole Syvass video as well, and I brought that up in my Ormond video of like a lot of times Syvass games are used to foreshadow future events in the story. So if Ryan Condal is doing the same thing, it may very well be the case that Ormond is going to face a large problem from a dragon later on, which, is plausible. We don't know because they've pretty much changed his whole story from the source material, so I wouldn't be surprised if there are further changes.
I'm not of that belief. I don't think they have. We just are seeing more details about him. I mean, we don't know yet because he takes Tumbleton, and then the big thing that happens at Tumbleton happens, and that big thing hasn't happened yet. So
right, Yeah, that's fair. We don't know for sure. He's just more of a character, I
We're
guess.
just seeing him. We're seeing
Yeah,
him do the
yeah.
most villain monologues, and it's really funny. So, yeah.
Um, but yes, so then yeah, he flips the board and gets angry, tells Darren never to apologize for victory, and then he presents him with the Darren coin that he has minted and says that he is the one to deliver them from all of this Targaryen nonsense. He's the beacon shining from the high tower.
He says to a Targaryen.
Yes. But yeah, so we get a look at our Darren coin there.
Yeah, it's cute.
And then okay, so we want to do a little bit of cat tax.
Yeah, dude, just a tad. Yeah.
So they were right at the end. We'll skip ahead.
Jeez, spoilers. Sorry. I'm kidding.
Here we got Lionel, who
Oh,
has made appearances on my channel posts before and is in the thumbnail.
Lionel
Being a little goofball.
Baratheon.
He is named after Lionel Baratheon because I took him in from outside over winter during Dunk and Egg.
Yeah,
So he and his brother, this was them last fall, living in a little wood pile.
You can't do that to people, man.
Yes, the cat tax is being paid.
Oh, I love this phase, the elastic and fur. Like they are literally indestructible. You could throw a cat like this off of Empire State Building and they'll just bounce and run off. Like they're just made of fur and elastic. They are so cute at that phase.
Yeah. So yes, this is them being adorable. Yeah, you can ask something that has nothing to do with the episode. If it is something we have an answer to, we'll try to answer.
I might not be able to think right now, and cat tax are being paid. Don't overdo it. If you got more, like save some for the end. Still, I just wanted to.
This is Lionel and Chomper.
Was that a $100 super chat?
100 ARS. I don't know what currency that is. Thank you anyway.
Dang, yeah, whatever. If that's dollary bucks or what, but man, 100.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's pretty cool.
I do not know, but thank you very much. But yeah, definitely ask away. Ask away, and thank you for the support.
Dude, the golden eyes, man.
Yeah.
In the big hairy ears. Dang, man. Let's not show my wife this, because then we're definitely getting those cats. Big hairy ears.
But okay. So we will come back to cat tax later on, but I did pay some of it.
Yeah.
So that is Lionel and Chomper.
So wet your palates.
Yes, and we'll get to more of their family when we come back. But so then we've got Helaena, Jaehaera, and Alicent here looking at a caterpillar that eats the nightshade. And then Alicent says that it's a puzzle, which is interesting because so apparently the caterpillar, the nightshade caterpillar, becomes the Sphinx moth or something, is what someone said. And the Sphinx asks riddles. So, like, I don't know if they're doing some sort of weird setup with that or not, but that is a thing that someone brought up in the post-episode live stream I did, which was like, yeah, apparently the nightshade eating caterpillar becomes a Sphinx moth. So, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't know that.
I don't know either. I don't know what they're setting up there, but it is an interesting little thing. And for that super chat, I will try to pay attention for your chat. But if I miss the question that you want to ask, just
we are
spam
waiting
me,
for
like, remind me.
Big long Nico name.
Yeah. But so Alicent then is saying that they need to leave, and Helaena is just like, what about Jaehaera? And Alicent is just like unable to look her in the eye as she says, well, Rhaenyra won't harm her. And we may even be able to send for her one day. And actually, it's maybe for the best that she stays here because she'll be raised in the Red Keep with servants and all this stuff. And Helaena says, you always look away when you lie.
Yeah, no
So,
crap.
yeah,
We
Helena
need to
just
go
calls her
or
out.
else we're gonna die. Well, what about my daughter? She'll be fine.
Yeah, it's
What
gonna
are you
be all
talking
right.
about?
Don't worry about it.
There's a tornado that's gonna murder all of us, but we should leave Frank. Wait, what about Frank? Frank will be fine.
You'll
Wait.
be all right. um. So then, yeah, we see they are hunting down Vagar, and they find bunch of burned sheep and the big Vagar footprint. And yeah, she feeds and eludes them. And then Bela sort of opens up for the first time about the fact that yeah, it's kind of screwed up her entire life, the
Yeah,
whole
it kind of
gullet
sucks.
situation.
Yeah.
It is not good. It's not good. Um but yeah, he says it's Argentinian pesos. It's like 10 cents.
Oh.
So that is fine. I did kind of assume whenever I see like random acronyms of currency I don't know, it is always kind of funny to be like, I wonder how much money that is.
Yeah,
But
it's like the first time you see like yen and you're like, you spent
yeah.
500 yen on that soda? It's like $5. Oh, okay.
I don't know if you had the same feeling, but when I was playing old Pokemon games as a
Yeah,
kid,
because
I
it's
thought
yen.
Pokeballs were like $200 a piece, and it's
Yeah,
like no, it's like 20 cents. It's
yeah,
like two
yeah,
bucks,
they're
whatever.
$2. Yeah, it's yeah, that's how I learned what the yen translation was.
Yeah.
Because that's
Yep.
like, wait, you beat your rival and he gave you $900? Like, no,
Yeah.
he gave you $9.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we both have the same experience
That's
with
so
how we
funny.
learned
Yeah.
that conversion rate. That's funny. But yeah, so Bela says that she won't look at her. And she says how her future was ordained and she was meant to be the queen, and now she'll probably be married off to some lord. And Adam's just like, well, then I'll come and find you and we'll or we'll fly off into exile. And yeah, it's I think setting up a little bit of a Damon Rhaenyra round two here, a little bit of uncle niece, you know, romance going on, I think. But it'd be interesting to see where they go with
Maybe.
that.
Yeah. I mean, this I will say is so far from the books that I have no idea what's going to happen with just because the
Right.
ages are so off and everything's so off with Adam
Yeah.
and Alan, where I don't see Alan having the life of the Oaken Fist. Like they're so
Yeah.
different. Okay.
Yeah, and
Sorry,
we
go
don't
ahead.
need to go into it too much for spoilery stuff, but at the
No.
same time, like I think they are hinting at a little romance here,
You might
and
be.
that is just speaking, as you said, with like they have changed a lot, so I don't actually know what they're gonna do. But
Well,
okay,
yeah.
so rereading a Game of Thrones, in Cat 1, Ned says that he hasn't seen Tommen since Cersei nursed him. Tommen is 7, but in Ned 1, he says he hasn't seen Robert in 9 years. Did Ned visit Cersei without Robert being present, or is that just a mistake? I imagine it's just a little oversight from George. I have heard that brought
You
up
reading Game of
uh,
Thrones?
before. I imagine it's an oversight. Um, like because yeah, it's just that the timeline doesn't work exactly with him having seen Tommen since
Yeah,
Cersei
yeah.
nursed
I think it's just a I heard somebody get fired for that blunder. Yeah, no, I think it's just a
him.
mess up. Yeah,
Yeah, George got fired for that blunder. That's why Wins has
that's
taken so
why.
long. It's 'cause
That's why
the
he
only
stopped
writer
writing.
is
You get
fired,
fired, man.
and now we don't have a
Um,
writer.
I have your currency translation. It is 0.067 $. So it's almost 7 cents.
There we go. There we go. We appreciate it anyway. We appreciate
Hey,
any and all support.
then 5 times that right after. So eventually, man, you're
Yeah, I mean
gonna be able to buy a
that's
house
right
in
on up.
Argentina. Yeah.
That's right on up. I mean, yeah, that does sound like an exchange rate that makes me curious if I should consider moving there. But no, I imagine that I don't think there's anything deeper going on, and I definitely don't think that Ned has seen Cersei in a time where he didn't see Robert. Yeah, that doesn't track to me. It tracks more that George just screwed up a little
Yeah,
bit.
did the math
Personally.
wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
agree.
maybe if I thought about it more, I could come up with a fun headcanon for how that actually works, but no, I'd say the assumption is probably George got the
Maybe
years wrong.
some tourney I don't remember 7 years ago, but Robert for some
Right,
reason is not there. I don't see it
that's what I
happening.
was thinking, but like Ned, yeah, probably didn't see Cersei
The idea that
without.
out of the three of them, of Ned, Robert, and Cersei, Robert's the one not at attorney doesn't make sense. So I don't know. Yeah,
Right,
I couldn't
that's what I was
speculate.
thinking too. Is like, what where would Cersei ever be that Robert isn't and Ned is, and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So
And it's not like they're
so
friends or in any way like them each other. So
right. But okay. So yeah, we I assume let's just assume that Ned is misremembering. He saw Robert 7 years ago, and his his timing is just a bit off there because
I
that's what makes more sense.
I subscribe to Moonman's doctrine of agreeing or treating any character's math, recollections. There we go, recollections or anything like that with a heaping grain of salt. Because
Yeah.
especially like people who bring up birthdays or ages and things like that. Nothing has ever been told to us in stone. There's never been a reliable narrator. This entire series has never had a completely reliable 100% narrator. It just hasn't happened. So
Yeah.
almost everything needs at least a little bit of salt, and some things need a bunch. Like, don't even eat it,
Right.
man. You need too much salt for that. Don't believe it. So yeah.
Right. So okay, we hear a dragon growling as Aemond is asleep, and then he wakes up and shouts for Vagar, and he is told that she has fled, and he says, "No, no, she will not abandon me." And I love this like little exchange where he looks at the door and just all of the furniture is in front of the bedroom door, and he looks and he asks Alice, "Am I a prisoner?" And she just doesn't answer. She just like goes back to her knitting, like basically like, "Yes, I am holding you prisoner here,
You're not like
but
a,
you know,
mistreated one.
yeah,
You're fine.
I'm your
Like
doctor, but also you are in prison." Yes,
this, yeah, but
yes,
it's it's like low security. Like you're fine.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's very funny to me. Of like Alice must have just like came in while he was asleep, piled all the furniture up in front of the door, and then like when she needs to leave, she's either got a secret passage or she like I don't know turns into a horde of bats and flies
She
off the
probably yeah, she
balcony.
probably turns
What
into a horde of bats and flies.
one or the other, but yeah. So he is absolutely Alice's prisoner at this point, which is pretty funny. Um, and
Um,
then she, what's up?
sorry, I was gonna answer Shugly Goose, whose viewpoint is the most salty. No pun intended, Aaron Damphair. Don't trust a damn thing. Aaron Damphair stares at an ocean in his first POV and he sees nothing. And then he just goes, I will look into my own head. God wants me to do this. And it's like, what? So like Aaron Damphair, none of his mind is okay. Heaping grains of salt of anything that is in any of his chapters. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But so then
sorry.
yeah, Alice tells him he goes to the balcony to look for Vagar, realizes that she is indeed gone, and he's very upset. And then Alice tells him that Rhaenyra has declared that Aegon is dead and Aemond killed him. And he says he is dead because he will not let me be. He says he tormented me my whole childhood. And he
Is
says
that
that he
true?
worshipped him. Yeah. I mean,
Did
he
we
bullied
see
him.
that? I mean, he bullied him a little.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess, but
Like the
tormented.
only interaction that we saw between them, he was bullying him and shitting on him, basically.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I guess you're right. I don't know. I really like. I feel like the second Aemon lost his eye and gained a Vagar, he became the alpha brother right there.
Yes,
Like,
I'm sure that at that point things changed, but all the way up until then, yeah, I
yeah.
imagine he was bullied pretty hard. Um, and so then he says, and yet our mother, and I think he was about to say our mother liked Aegon better,
No.
which is very funny because in the next scene, Aegon thinks that he liked Aemond better, and I made this joke right after the episode, but like all of Alicent's children think that they are the least favorite. Like, imagine how bad of a mother you have to be that every one of your kids thinks that they are the least favorite child.
Well, you assume there is a favorite,
Right,
right?
right.
That's it. Like, if my mom treated me like crap, like now I'm old enough to just go, she's bad mom. I'm not saying that about my own mom. I'm not saying, but like you eventually can learn, oh, we were just all emotionally abused. But when you are immature or a kid, you assume they have to be a good mom to someone. Like, and you just guess, oh, it must be the other one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. This is a good
Oh
point too.
yeah.
We also see him continuing the bullying. So yeah,
So I guess you're right.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And
she
yeah,
just,
Alicent is not the greatest.
I think she loves Helena, but she's still not a good mom to Helena. I mean, she literally
Right,
just tried to force moon tea in her face. So, but
right.
I do think that no, I guess she wasn't even like she kind of just thought Helena was goofy and weird and kind of dismissed her too.
Yes.
So no, never mind. She didn't
Yeah.
really love anybody. All right,
No,
moving on.
she well, I literally think like you could ask each of Allison's children like who is the least favorite, and they would all say, "Oh, obviously me." Helena would be
Obviously,
like, "She
me.
just dismissed me and only cared about the boys because they're the heir." Aegon thinks that she liked Aemond the best. Aemond thinks that she liked Aegon the best. Darren thinks, "Oh, I'm obviously the least favorite. She sent me away and never meets with me."
Yeah,
Like
I don't even
so.
never even met her.
Yeah, this is a
But
really interesting line.
oh
Or
yeah.
you have one more thing?
I was gonna say clearly Darren is the most loved because she didn't abuse him.
Yeah.
Sorry,
She
anyways.
didn't screw him up so
At
bad, but yeah,
all. Yeah.
she only sent him away to her abusive family member who screwed him up instead. So,
Semantics.
um, but yeah, so this is an interesting line because Alice says that sometimes the child who grieves the mother most is the one who she loves best. And then he asks, "Who are you?" And she says, "One that has been grieved." What does that mean? Like,
I
anyone in
mean,
chat,
I
like,
I don't know.
do we have any, like, real interesting readings on what she means by that?
She's dead.
Other than yeah, like, other than something like that, or,
Like somebody has
I don't know,
grieved for me.
my personal headcanon is that she's a child of the forest, like, in a glamour. Like, she kinda gives me those vibes, but I'm not, like, firmly set on that, but I think
Some
that's, like, the most likely crazy explanation, you know?
Somebody said it
Like
in chat earlier, and you just let it go. But when somebody was like, "Oh yeah, Alice Rivers is just Leaf in disguise," and I was like, "I'll let
yeah.
Michael buy it. I'll let Michael bring that up on his own time."
I've brought that up in the past. I think like pretty much most of the streams this season where Alice does something crazy, it's come up, and I put out a video on like her being a child of the forest in a glamour because like that tracks really well with that. So
Yeah,
like that's the thing where I was like the child she's just talking about how the child who grieves them most is the one they love best, and then she says she is one who has been grieved. Is she saying
I think
secretly like
she's
is she hinting she's
undead.
a child? Or is she hinting that she's dead? Like,
I
what's
I
going on?
I think both can be true, but I do think I have been grieved is a way of saying like I like there has been a funeral for me. People have grieved my
Yeah.
passing. And also, Michael thinks everybody, he doesn't want me to share this story. It's very embarrassing, but Michael thinks everyone's a child of the forest. I once got a drunken phone call at 2 a.m. from Michael because somebody cut him off in traffic and he was just explaining to me how that person was a child of the forest. And, you know, he's got a problem and we just need to stop feeding. She is
Yeah.
a goat. She's a goat of the forest.
Yeah, she could also absolutely be that goat as well.
Well, yeah, Children of
But
the
yeah.
Forest warg all the time. Like that's if she's a goat, that means like that's evidence she is a child of the forest. Not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you are lagging, sometimes a refresh helps. I don't know if anyone else is experiencing lag, but I know when I watch live streams every once in a while they go haywire on the viewer's end. But
Yeah, no one's lagging from but I do hear
no,
your audio goes like choppy here and there.
does it?
And maybe
Okay.
mine is too, I don't know. But I've heard a couple like, when you turn into a robot for a second, like that happened
Yeah.
twice. It's not a big deal. I don't think
Okay.
you gotta, it's just StreamYards, man. Shit happens.
Yeah.
Shit
It'll
happens on
happen.
StreamYards. Yeah.
But okay. So
She's a
then
Rhaena
we see
Targaryen? Oh, maybe.
the one of the best scenes of the whole episode here, where Aegon is complaining about how he was withdrawn from tournaments and how Aemond has all the advantages because he's strong and he can fight in tournaments. He's good with a sword. He can speak High Valyrian. And she says that Mother loved him more is the truth of it. So again, like back to back, both of the brothers are saying that they're the least favorite.
Yeah, I love it.
And then we get some like one of the best rants that we've gotten all season so far when Laris just goes off
So
on him
good. So
and he
good.
says, yeah, like all of our time together you've done nothing but whinge. You who had every advantage in life, the firstborn son, every chance to shine, a dragon so beautiful they named him after the sun itself.
And
He says you could have risen to greatness.
The only person who could mess all that up is somebody who sucks really bad. And you suck really bad.
Yes. And he says that, yeah, he's just like, you've had every advantage in life. You could have risen to greatness, but instead you trampled your birthright in the mud. You lazed and you fucked everything in sight and you got drunk with your buddies and you're just a terrible, terrible king. And worse than that, you're a terrible man. And yeah, that's just hilarious to see him just lose it finally and be like, look, I have nothing to lose at this point. I'm not going to respect you anymore. I'm going to be the first person to tell you what exactly you are.
No,
and yeah,
no angle that whatever Larry's like, Larry's is taking a really long bet, right? Where he's like, King's Landing fell. I'm gonna be able to I'm putting a couple chips that all I have left. I'm putting my chips in the Aegon basket, and he's gonna eventually get back into the power and help me out. And he got to the point where he's like, well, that ain't even worth it anymore. No hand of the kingship is worth dealing with your ass. Like stop being a dick, stop whinging, and come on, man. And I'm on his side.
No, this was like one of my favorite parts of the whole episode for sure.
Good. It's really good. Yeah.
And then this was another really interesting scene where Rhaenyra is like looking for omens and Daemon is just not having it. She's just like, why do the gods turn from me? And Daemon's like, we are gods. Like, I am a god, Rhaenyra. You're a god. Like, what do you mean the gods turn from you? We are the gods here.
We are
nobody else.
Yeah.
Oh, like that is just such a hilarious dynamic. Someone like praying to the seven and trying to like wonder why the gods have forsaken her, talking to someone who truly believes himself to be a god. And he's just so
funny.
You're so dumb right now. Like the look on his face is amazing.
She's like, the gods have betrayed me. And he's like, I don't remember betraying you.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you believe your own hype, Daemon? I am the hype.
Yeah.
I gotta do my Team 4-Star reference.
I love how he does like the high little sarcastic dismissive voice as he says that, oh, what, did you think it would always be summer and never snow and you'd have a glorious ascension, everyone be united, just like laughing at her, mocking her basically. And he says, you hear the wind in these towers and imagine there are omens when there are none. But I also love, I don't have a screenshot of it, but I love in this conversation when Rhaenyra says to him, like, you are Daemon Targaryen, the one who has 1,000 adulatory songs about you, and yet here you stand outdone. And he's just like smiles a little bit, like, because that is very funny. Like, even when your wife is yelling at you, she has to be like, you're the guy who they sing thousands of songs about how
Yeah.
great you are. Like, and that has to be satisfying to be like, even when you're being shit on, people have to remind you, like, yeah, everyone writes songs about how awesome you are. Like, that's
Well,
great.
Jenny of Coldstone Creamery, this is exactly how you not talk to your spouse. I mean, it is his third wife.
Yeah, Damon's not a
He's
not
not a
a
good husband, dude. He
right.
murdered one and then he, like, well, whatever happened
Yeah.
there.
No, yeah, no one is claiming Damon is a great husband. He's just a very funny husband to watch be really dismissive to his wife as she's going through a terrible time. Like,
Yeah, I
yeah.
know that's. Imagine if you're like if I know you don't have a wife that I know of. Maybe you keep her secret. I don't know.
No.
But if my wife like had a bad day, and if I just like threw her privileges at her face, like
Yeah.
she's aware of her privileges. Like we are not poor anymore. Like we are in a decent place in our lives. But if she just like, man, my boss was a jerk to me, and it's like, didn't I feed you earlier today? Like she would punch me in the nose, dude.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
First I'll say adulatory is a cool word, and I did the first time it popped up in the subtitles read it as adultery. I'm like, they sing
That's
songs
what I
about his
did.
adultery, but then I was like, oh no, that doesn't make sense. I reread it.
They probably do
But
sing
yeah,
songs about his adultery.
that as well. Yeah, I imagine both would be true. Um, I get disliking this. I think they could have definitely given the cat's idea to Otto, but I also don't really buy the idea that like the Greens can't have anything good. Like, I think both sides are full of terrible people, and like there's the team like anger on both sides where like both sides think the writers hate their team, but like at the same time the Greens are the villains, like, you know, like
Yeah.
that is kind of the vibe.
I'm always on the side against all kings. So I like
Yeah.
I'm pro small folk. You know how I am. I'm not a really big fan of anyone who holds so much power that they can have an argument with somebody else with power, and then thousands of people who aren't one of them die for them. Like I hate that crap. I hate kings. But anyways, all that being said, I don't really think anyone's good or bad. I think they're all bad. I think Team Black is just as
Right.
bad. But the problem is Team Green started the war. Like Aegon wasn't
Yeah.
the heir and Rhaenyra was. So Rhaenyra's right, but I mean they all kind of suck, dude.
Yeah, that's the
I
thing, and
am
it's like
definitely Team Pale Hair. Oh, I'm definitely Team Pale Hair. Yeah, I am. 100%.
that's the thing, like, yeah, the Greens started the dance, like, by not accepting Viserys' succession, but also, like, so I would have bought more the critique that they hate Team Green and that they take all the good things from them before this season, where as soon as Rhaenyra gets into power, she screws up everything. She has been screwing up everything she touches ever since she took King's Landing.
Yeah.
So like it's just showing that whoever is ruling the Iron Throne, they're both terrible. Like everyone in this show is kind of terrible, and that's what is kind of
They
entertaining about it. But
think that they are gods. We covered this at the beginning of the scene.
yeah,
Anytime you think you deserve power because of your blood, not to get all friggin' woke on you guys, but anytime somebody thinks I am more important than anyone around me because I was born into it, they start acting like gods and they start throwing people's lives away and they start making bad decisions. It's absolute monarchies. It's why it wasn't a very successful thing. Like, because one person having all the power is a bad thing. But all right, sorry. I'm gonna keep preaching.
yeah,
But yeah,
all good.
I had comment on one of my. I haven't been reviewing these, but I have done. I've been doing polls after every episode. I don't know if you voted in any of them, but it's just like, what do you think of the episode? And I had a comment, and I'm not doxing the person. I'm not saying their names. And they just like, went down that like, oh, this is horrible and it's woke and Rhaenyra is making all these amazing decisions and then all the males have nothing but stupid opinions. And I was like, what episode did you watch? Like, no one's making a good decision.
Yeah.
Like, that was the episode where it was like her just taking King's Landing. And it's like, dude, she made like 30 mistakes. Like, what do you? No one's smart.
Like, no, that is the thing. Like, I did understand, like, more so the like, yes, they are building up Rhaenyra to be like a hero, but then as soon as she takes power, they kind of undermine all of that. So like, it is a critique that definitely held more weight before this season, that the writers like them better. But
I think the writers gave Alicent Hightower is, and there was another somebody's like, oh, they've made Alicent unredeemable, and I'm like, did you read the book? She's not redeemable. Like book version, she's more evil than Cersei. Like, she's one of the most straight up villains in the books. In the show, they make her at least a little like understandable, like a lot more understandable. She's definitely more of a victim herself. Like, you get it a lot more.
And this will be interesting to see if they do have the throne cut Rhaenyra. Because in the source material, like, there are reports that she was cut by the throne and at various times. So like, I wouldn't hate it if they had her get cut by the throne as things start unraveling or whatever, like, she's very clearly making bad decisions. So her getting a little nick from the Iron Throne in one of the next few episodes, I think would definitely fit. But yeah. And she is called the Cruel. They did a whole parade through the city earlier on saying, behold the works of Rhaenyra the Cruel. Like, she is not an angel, neither is Daemon. Like, that's the thing. Like, I've seen some criticism being like, oh, when Daemon just kills a random shepherd, it's just played off as though that's like great. And it's like, no, it's not.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. No one is supposed to think Daemon is a good person for killing the shepherd.
He murders his first wife so he can get power, so he can marry into House Velaryon or marry his niece. Is his motivation of murdering an innocent person. No one has ever thought Daemon's a good person. I have to get out here at some point, but every character is terrible, but when it comes to even book version of Rhaenyra, which we already discussed, she is going through horrible grief after horrible grief.
Yes.
Even book her, it's like, dude, she just had a horrible time, had the worst moments of her life, goes into a war, and then it's like, like sympathetic. Absolutely. Like,
and Hustlebones, I imagine that this will not last, right? Because like, Rhaenyra has now finally gotten some agency once she's taken King's Landing, and as we said, she's been screwing up a lot.
I think
those screw ups just haven't come home to hit yet. I imagine it will not hold up for a while. Like that, that like nothing being her fault. I think that's a temporary criticism.
Yeah, he killed another random guy. Yeah, like Daemon just murks randos. That's how he gets out of political situations.
Yeah. Right. But yeah. So then Gwaine is once again trying to tell Sir Criston as they march horribly through thorns and leeches that like, hey, the men don't actually see why we're continuing with this plan, and neither do I. Criston just doesn't care.
What are you trying to do? Kill us? Yeah. You want to keep going?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so then
my boy
Tyland is back.
My boy, the horse lion himself, man.
Aegon has to take his, ranting that Laris gave him, think about it, realize that maybe he has a point, and then come and plop himself down next to Laris and get given an apple. And then Tyland overhears them talking about a ship.
Okay.
And like, yeah.
Not to be that guy, but this is like a random. Are we in Rook's Rest still, or where are we at?
Yes.
We're like Rook's Rest. No reason for any of these characters to be here. Yet all three of these characters in the entirety of Westeros, nothing has beckoned them to. Well, all right, Aegon. Yeah. Aegon went to Rook's Rest because that's where his dragon is. But besides that, Hugh of the Vale / Tyland the Whore / like Jason as well. This dude just happens to show up. I can't talk too much crap because I am a Star Wars fan, and there's only one chick in the entire galaxy, and she happens to be related to the main character, even though they're from 2 different planets. Like, you know, like I hate big worlds being small, but this is one of the biggest examples of big world being small, where I'm just like, really? Of all the bars, of all the
only
bars.
justification I would have is like, he's back with his sellswords. He heard there was a horrible battle at Rook's Rest. He's just like, I'm gonna go see what's going on there. And then, like, once he comes back ashore, he's just like, all right, like, I'm in the area. I guess we'll go see what the garrison there looks like. And then,
now if he shipwrecked on the coast, that's one thing.
Yeah,
he shipwrecked. Driftmark.
On Dragonstone.
Or Dragonstone. Yeah, Driftmark. Yeah. Well, yeah, like, bro.
It's weird. It's weird that he ended up here. I do agree. I no disagreement really.
It's literally like Jason Voorhees. He jumped into the ether and had to show up somewhere. Like, he teleported.
It makes complete sense that he would have survived because he was thrown in because it was so shallow where they were. Mm-hmm. Like, all he has to do is cling onto a rock. How he got off of those rocks to where he is now, that requires some explanation, but him surviving makes complete sense.
Salladhor Saan picked him up.
Yeah.
How much more do you got left? Is it worth me toughing out, or should I get out of here?
Like 30 slides, so if you can get out whenever you want to get out.
I'm gonna hang out with you until either my wife complains. I'll give you like, whatever, 15-ish minutes.
Okay.
Let's rock.
But yeah, so then we get the scene where Alicent and Helena.
Yeah, he was tossed into the water. Sorry. Did I say he shipwrecked? I'm sorry. He was tossed. He was thrown overboard. Yeah. All right, sorry. Keep going.
But yes. Yeah. So then they try to escape, and they get approximately 10 steps out the door before Mysaria is just like, what are you doing? Like, why did you think this would work? I have replaced everyone in this castle with people who are loyal to me. Like, why did you think this was ever going to work? So then they go back in there, and Helena is claustrophobic, and she says that she needs to see the moon. And if you want to know why, you can check out after this the video I put out this morning. But yes, I go full into detail on why Helena needs to see the moon.
Why does Helena need to see the moon? Watch next week, or the video from this morning.
Yeah. Yep.
You don't trust Mysaria? You don't trust the Spy Master? I don't trust the Spy either. Follow that logic.
And then it is an interesting like conversation Alicent has with Mysaria, where she's just like, why, like, she's just like telling her to lie to Rhaenyra, and she's just like, well, what's it gonna make a difference if you tell Rhaenyra what happened? We're already her prisoners. Nothing's gonna change. But if you don't, then I will owe you a favor, and maybe there will come a day where you have need of the favor of House Hightower. And I find that really interesting if, like, Mysaria is gonna take her up on that, because, like, on one level it does make sense, but on another level she hates the Hightowers, and Alicent is pretty powerless right now. But I don't know if you got...
She hates the Hightowers because they were in power for so long and they effed the small folk. She's gonna have to make a decision when the Targaryens start effing the small folk of if she's team small folk like me, or if she's team Rhaenyra. And I don't is Mysaria actually loyal to anybody? Like, I don't know, man. I think she's loyal to the small folk, which she's hanging out with people who don't give a crap about the small folk. But Rhaenyra did do that cool installation art piece where she made a bunch of High Lords eat rats. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that was again another questionable decision that is probably going to, as we said, like people were saying, like Rhaenyra never does anything
decision.
wrong.
That was a
like,
horrible
decision.
That was a horrible
obviously
call.
wrong. Yeah. Yeah.
So my first thing I did as president is I brought my entire cabinet over and I slapped them all in the face. Like,
yeah.
Like, don't do
yeah.
that.
Yeah. But yeah, so then did you like it was an interesting thing where she was like saying to Miss Arya, like, hey, you may be in her favor now, but you know that she and Daemon are always gonna find their way back to one. Or she's just like, she already chose Daemon over you, basically. I'm sitting there like, do you know that they made out, Allison? Like, has your like Bidar like picked up on the fact that both of you are kind of in love with Rhaenyra and she's picked Daemon? Like, how did you make that pitch? Like, contrasting Miss Arya to Daemon. That was an interesting, like,
yeah, it's interesting
route for Allison to go down.
Maybe
I
she's
guess.
got a really strong Bidar. How's your Bidar?
Not great.
I've been flirting with you for 4 years now, and you just never answer those texts for some reason. Whenever I send you something, you just leave it unread. All right, fine, whatever.
Not great. Yeah,
I was trying.
Yeah.
Okay. Barking up the wrong tree.
But I don't know if you had the same thing happen when we got this shot as I did, but I'm like, who the hell is that kid?
Yeah, no, I said, who the hell is that? I went,
I'm like, who is that? Did they like, is that fake Darren with his normal hair color? Did it grow in back already? Like, what sleeping child is this? And then no, it's Joffrey. We just haven't seen him in a minute, and he's older now.
And she's even like, who the hell is that?
Right. But
she tries to send him to the wall.
I had no idea who this was. But yeah. Then Rhaenyra comes in as he's already asleep, and we talked a little bit earlier on about how I think she would rather it be this way because it's going to be a real hard conversation to have with him when they first actually talk. So, yep. But yeah, we're not alone. That I think this was a common thing of everyone being like, "Wait, who the hell is that exactly?"
The show is also famous for being well lit.
Right.
Keep going.
Oh
yes. Did they do two
Kristen
shots
Cole.
in that same dragon paw?
I think that they're meant to be different. I think they're meant to be different because this one isn't like landed on a sheep pen.
Oh, okay.
So I think Vagar's just bouncing all over the Riverlands, just burning and eating.
It makes me think of that 1998 Roland Emmerich Godzilla when they're in the giant Godzilla paw. That's all I think of when I like that in Jurassic Park. But when I see aerial shots of giant three-toed lizard things, I just think of Godzilla.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, that's all I got, guys. Like and subscribe.
And then we get more horrible marches through the mud, and this is where he gets the leech on him, and he like gives a look to Sir Criston and be like, "Are we really going to keep marching through this?" And Criston just like marches on past him. He's like, "Oh my god, this guy."
Sorry.
What's up?
Sorry, I think I got the guy's name wrong. Somebody's calling me out. Oh, it is. Never mind. I see what's happening now. All right, keep going.
And then we have Alice have more door-to-door salesmen come to Harrenhal looking for Aemond. And this time, instead of she changes her story, which I don't know why she changed her story. Everyone else, she's been telling him he was here, he left, his dragon left. Obviously, he's not here anymore. And for these guys, she's just like, he's never been here, which is like, they're not going to believe that.
Yeah.
That's a terrible lie.
The largest taxi in the entire world parked up there, and we all saw it. And then the taxi left. Like, we all saw. I keep thinking because somebody in the chat way earlier said, your princess is another castle, like made a Mario reference.
Yeah.
And now I can't not see that, which he's in another house, go away. Like I only see Mario references now. You found a princess. Wrong.
And I just don't understand why she told them the least believable lie possible here.
You're not even at
Like,
Harrenhal. Wait, what?
yeah, yeah. So they attack Alice. They try to assault her. They attack her, and Aemond comes charging up into the Godswood and stabs them, one after the other. And then the last one, I don't know if you caught this, he kills him with the root. He feeds blood to the
sick.
weirwood.
Yep, no, I
Yeah.
immediately caught that of, the
Yeah.
weirwoods are, the gods are eating good tonight.
He's
Yeah.
feeding a lot of blood
I mean,
to that weirwood.
the long-lived, still barely alive undead corpse of Clarence Crabbe has to manipulate Nibbledick Crabbe and Brienne so much just so it can get a little bit of that Shagwell and Timian and Pig blood. But no, the Weirwood gods at Harrenhal are just feasted up. Anyways,
Yep.
it was that.
So yeah, we get one of.
Sorry, keep going.
We get one of the best Weirwood sacrifices that we've ever gotten at this point. And yeah, that was great. So yeah, Aemond makes his Weirwood sacrifice. That is my last slide on this slideshow, and then we'll get to the beginning of this one because we already did cat tax. So yeah,
cat tax.
Here we are. And then yeah. What were you saying?
I think I'm getting out of here. That's what I'm gonna say.
Fair enough.
Sorry to leave you alone.
No, all good.
I hope
it's all good.
You're gonna fly a lot better. You mind if I say goodbye to the
pitch what you got to pitch. Everyone, check out something to talk about.
My video for tomorrow morning at 7:00 Central Time is Wintertown. So the town that's around Winterfell. And it essentially became a Bran and Theon video. So because Wintertown gets burned after the burning of Winterfell. So, and it's just under snow for Dance of Dragons. So, or not Dance of Dragons, A Dance with Dragons. So yeah, so I got Wintertown coming out tomorrow. Check out something to talk about. I have two. I looked because I want to cover them all in a tier list. I've covered 220 characters in my main series. So I've 220 characters. And then my let's talk about the differences even more. So if you have a character that no one else on YouTube has talked about from A Song of Ice and Fire and you love that character, I probably have, or I will.
Or bother him in the comments and tell him what character you want him to cover.
I get a lot of requests, and if they're not on the list, I add them. So check that out if you want to. And also, Michael, thanks for having me on. I'm glad we finally had a chance. I haven't been able to join you at all this season. So hopefully again before the series or the season's over. So
yeah, I was going to ask too, if you have any other hot takes on previous episodes that you did not get to share that you really want to get out there.
I've enjoyed them. I got a hot take for this one. I think this is my least favorite episode. We're not doing like a review in that sense. We're going over it frame for frame, but this feels like the least, not that they're making the most changes from the books, but they didn't really cover anything from the books. And this is what I didn't like about so much of season 2 of I know the next event in the books, so just do it already. And that's like, where's my next battle? So that's what I'm waiting for. But besides that, I didn't hate this episode. This season has been a little better than season 2, in my opinion. They just needed to end season 2, and they finally did. The first 2 episodes of this season was ending season 2. So that's my hot take. I'm not gonna be like some A Song of Ice and Fire YouTubers and just make the most negative crap. Why this season jumped the shark. I'm not that kind of guy. I don't like making negative videos or even putting out negative stuff because I'm about love and peace. But I am, believe it or not, as chaotic as I am. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say and this is basically our halfway point of the season because as you said, the first 2 episodes were the end of season 2. So season 3 is 6 episodes and this is halfway through that now.
Yeah.
So I imagine this is like our mid-season setup and build up, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be pretty hard rush to the finale of the season. Like every one of the next 3 episodes, I imagine, will have a big event in it.
I need 2 battles that are in the same town, and then I also need a dance somewhere, and then I'm happy.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
You don't think that
Yep.
dance is going to happen this season? I think timeline wise, it needs to, or you start because if there's only one more season, but yeah.
Yeah. But all right. Well,
all right. Yeah. Everyone already
more
said bye.
maybe at the end of the season. But yeah, I'll let you get out of here.
I'm doing an opposite of an Irish. I'm doing a Minnesota goodbye. So
I'll get you to bed and all that stuff.
Yeah,
so
I'm gonna go.
Thank you for joining me.
Sleep. Thank you guys. And yeah, have a good one. Peace.
All right. See ya. So yeah. Okay. We'll get back to, we'll finish up the rest of the slides, and then we will pay the rest of the cat tax for those of you who have joined later on. I've brought up my cats enough, and there were many cats in this episode, so you'll get to see all of the cats that were in the thumbnail that all of you have clicked on. But yeah, so I love that when Tyland is talking here, he talks about how he's fought with them, shared everything with them, and he's about to say even their wives, and he stops himself, and Larys is like, yes? Like, he wants him to continue. But yeah, he was about to say that he's even shared their wives with them and decides maybe he should leave that out of his story. But yeah, and then Tyland wants to bring him to Lannisport, which makes sense. I mean, Larys is acting like he's thinking even of his even now of his own advancement, but it's like, no, actually, like, Casterly Rock is a pretty darn good place to get to if they can get there. Like, that would be one of the safest places in Westeros that you could go at this point. But no, Larys doesn't want to go to Casterly Rock because he wants to head off to the Free Cities where all of his money is currently being kept. So this might be a bit of projection from Larys here, being like, actually, I'm not going to give you the king as a pawn because I have the king as a pawn right now. So yes, I definitely agree. It is Larys projecting for sure. So yeah, I think, yeah, that's entirely what this scene is here. But then in the background, yeah, Janos finds the crown in Aegon's bag and takes it out, and he says, "Oh, Gregor, is it?" And then Aegon pins him and stabs him and says, "You will call me your grace," which was amazing. It was great. I was really thinking that Janos was going to get killed with Sunfire's scale and get stabbed with that, but no, in the end, he just gets stabbed with a knife, which is probably more effective for getting through his little bit of leather armor or whatever he was wearing. But yeah, so Aegon finally kills Janos, as I assume most of us thought that he eventually would, when he was being a dick to him and making him kiss the boot and all that. I think we all kind of knew eventually he was not going to make it through one of those provocations. And I love how Larys and Tyland like see this happening and like look around. They're just like, oh my god, this freaking guy, he's drawing so much attention to us. And they try to like look around and pretend like nothing is happening. Like it's just great. It's just great. And yeah, Larys is, I think, part of the reason. I mean, Larys emptied Harrenhal's vaults and sent a lot of it off to the Iron Bank. That's why he wants to go to Braavos, and why when Daemon got to Harrenhal, they had no money. But I think, yeah, I can't remember how involved he was in the fact that King's Landing also doesn't have any money. But yeah. Let's see. So yeah, then yeah, we get the scene where the gold cloaks are in their like locker room all freaking out because they're being killed in the streets and there's nothing that they can do about it, which is not a great feeling, of course. And then Daemon gets up and gives them the big rousing speech about how they need to uphold their vows now, even if they're not being paid, because eventually he's going to conquer the world and Dorne will bend the knee. He says, when the 7 kingdoms become 9, become 12, become the new Valyria, who do you think will be the first to share in the spoils of war? And they all start cheering and beating their chests, going, we will, yeah. So yeah, he's he is he is giving the big rousing speech of like, yeah, don't worry, one day I'm going to conquer the entire world and then I will pay you. Um, and yeah, it is a kind of hilarious pitch for him to make, but they all love it. So he's still got that riz with the gold cloaks at the very least. Um, and yeah, no, this is fair. Like it is a very funny speech to give, and for it to have worked so well, but like it is kind of just him reminding them like, "Hey, I've always had your back and I'm in power now, and like even if things are bad right now, this is just the beginning. Things are going to get a lot better, and when they do get better, you know that it's going to be great for you all. So just hang tight and we're going to go out there and conquer the entire world." So yeah. Um and yes, I do think there are some skeptical gold cloaks within the realm or within the ranks, but when everyone's hyped up from the big rallying speech in the locker room, you don't tell anyone. You don't be like, "That speech kind of freaking sucked. I don't know. I don't know if I buy it, coach." Like, yeah, yeah, he's not the best motivator. A Harbaugh, he is not. That's fair. That's fair. Um, But yeah, so then we get the scene where Kristen Cole and company arrive at the bridge that they were planning to burn, and it has already been burned because the army that they're trying to stop has gotten there first, and they burned the bridge behind them. So now they know that that giant march through the mud and the rain and the leeches, where men were literally dropping dead of exhaustion and being left to die in the mud, they failed, and Gwaine is not happy about that, understandably so. And then we get a scene of Damon and Sir Luthor doing some sharp questioning of a man who they caught for one of the murders of the Gold Cloaks, and they remove one of his eyes, and they're about to take the second one when he tells them what is going on, and he says to look in his boot, and Damon finds the Darren coin in the guy's boot. So he takes it, and yeah, then we have this conversation here where Gwaine is talking to Sir Kristen, and Sir Kristen is saying that his path is set before him, and Gwaine's like, "But they outnumber us 200 to 1. Like, what are we possibly going to do meeting them in battle? It would march us towards certain death." And Cole just looks at him and kind of gives a little nod, and he's like, "Wait a minute, what?" He's like, "This was your goal, wasn't it? Like, you are just marching us to certain death on purpose, aren't you, you freaking idiot?" And Cole's just like, "Our fate was always assured, Sir Gwaine. When we set out, we were doomed." And Gwaine's like, "I'm not doomed. I have a life to go back to. Like, I don't actually want to die in the mud for no reason. I am not horribly depressed like you, and you shouldn't be either. I offered to bring you home with me." He says, "I offered you sanctuary, or at least the hope of one." And Cole is like, "Well, you offered me service to your house," which, as I brought up a little earlier on in the stream, he's like, "Oh, you have no idea how hard it is that the most desirable women in the realm all want to use me like a piece of meat, and the richest families in the realm keep wanting me to live in their fancy castles and serve them." It's like, bro, from where you started, that's like the best case scenario you could possibly have. But Kristen is very upset about it. Uh, and I mean, it makes some sense where he's like, "I've been a servant all my life to green or black, and the Highborn have made much of me when it suits them to." But he wants to die in service to himself. He says he will not let them diminish me now. I will not return spurned. Um, and he says he is the realm's greatest warrior, which I had seen some people laughing at. I had a friend who I talk about the show with, and he kind of laughed at this line. I'm like, "Well, no, actually, Kristen's right here. Like, for the record, Kristen is right when he says this. He is the greatest warrior of his time. We saw him in the beginning beating Damon in a fight in the tourney. We seen him, training Aemond. So like we haven't seen a ton of it, but he's not wrong when he says he's the realm's greatest warrior. He's the Lord Commander of the Kingsguard. He's master at arms in the Red Keep. He's training all of like the next generation of fighters for a reason. Even though Rhaenyra only picked him for the Kingsguard because he was hot, like she actually, in the sense of like skill with a blade, ended up making a decent choice. It's just that it caused so many problems for other reasons. But yeah, he at the very least is like right on up there with pretty much everyone. So yeah, it's it is, yeah. Yeah, we didn't see as much of him being a great warrior as we could so far. So, who knows, maybe there'll be some more crazy feats, but yeah, I would say like you shouldn't dismiss him when he says he's the realm's greatest warrior, even if it is a bit funny that he's the one saying it. And so he says, yeah, he is the realm's greatest warrior, and he will die as such, glorious in battle, and they will sing songs of it. And Queen Alicent herself will hear them. And Gwaine just gives him this look. This is like just hilarious to me. He's just like, oh my god, we've been marching to certain death. You've put us on this horrible death march, all so that my sister can hear about you in a song, bro. Like, you could just come back to Old Town and Alicent would probably end up there one day. Like, you could just come back and be with my sister again. Like, why are we doing this all so that you can be in a song that she hears about? Like, it is a hilarious look of just like realizing like, oh my god, this guy is completely broken. The fact that my sister dumped him has just broken his brain, and he's marching off to death because of it, and there's no hope of changing his mind at this point because Gwaine's been trying to change his mind the entire episode, and he's just finally accepted like, damn, this guy's completely broken. there's no there is no coming back from this, and I think that's the look that Gwaine is giving him here. Of like, man, bro is never getting over that, is he? So yeah. Then we see Daemon come in and plop the Darren coin down in front of Rhaenyra, and she's just like, "What is this?" And he's like, "This is the cost of our humiliation." He says that this is King Darren. Ormond has raised him up as king, and he says we should have burned them when we had the chance. So yeah, I did take a look at like the text of this book as well. I don't know what exactly she's reading, but none of it strikes me as particularly interesting. Um, like I don't know. I don't know if anyone can really make heads or tails of what exactly is going on with the text in this little book by pausing it. But yeah, in any case, yeah, Kristen just really needs a rebound. I think he's beyond rebounding at this point. It would have helped. I think it would have helped if he could have gotten a rebound before, but but no, he's pretty broken at this point. Alicent was his rebound off of Rhaenyra, and it has gone even worse. He's just rebounded and bounced like further down into the depths of despair. Um, but yeah, um, yeah, and he his monologues, like his like depressed warrior poet energy, has been one of my favorite things of his whole arc. Just like him being super depressed and like presenting his life as this like poetic tragedy, which on some level it kind of is, but also like, yeah, it's just very funny to see a man in that state, just completely broken like that, and also just freaking out, and like giving these big philosophical speeches about how doomed he is and all of that. It's great. I love it. And then we get this cat who is very upset by the fact that there is a door closed, which if you have cats, you'll understand they don't like it when doors are closed. And this cat recognizes that this is a closed door. It's not a wall. So the cat is meowing at the doorway here, wanting to go inside, probably because there's a rat or two in there. And the cat's like, hey, I have a job to do. I was hired specifically to kill all of these rats, and you've closed the door and I can't go get the rats. So someone's got to open this door up. And Helena goes up to the door, and the candle flame is also being pulled through, like there is airflow going into that little crack in the wall there. And they push on it and it opens up, and they find that there is an escape tunnel in the room where they are being held. Meanwhile, then, Kristen is giving his motivational speech to his men before he tries to continue to march them off to death. And Gawain and his little crew have gathered their things, and Gawain gives him one last look, wishing that he could change his mind, and says, "Let's go." So, yeah, they have abandoned Kristen Cole. Gawain and his whoever is like directly loyal to him, they have left Kristen's group right here at the end of the episode. Meanwhile, Damon is going down into the Gold Cloak's locker room and finds that it has been trashed, and he's wondering what the hell is going on. He looks for Sir Luthor, and also, meanwhile, Alicent and Helena are traveling through the tunnel, and they find that it is blocked. And then Alicent hands the lantern to Helena, and Helena gets scared by a cat, probably chasing a rat, I think. It's tough to tell because it's pretty dark. But something scares Helena, she drops the lantern, and so now they don't have a light, and they are trapped inside the walls of the Red Keep because they must have closed the door behind them so no one would know how they escaped. So they seem to be trapped inside the walls without any light at all, which is going to be really interesting to see how they get out of that one. So yeah, that's one of the things I'm kind of curious to see how they handle in the beginning of the next episode, because like, yeah, that seems like a pretty bad situation. Like, yeah, I'm very curious. Like, are they just gonna like act like this didn't happen? Or are they gonna be quickly out of it, or is this gonna be like a major plot point of like Alicent and Helena are gone, we need to find them. Meanwhile, they're inside the walls, like desperately trying to get out. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how this is gonna go. But yeah, and then Damon finds the Feast for Traitors, the Gold Cloaks and Sir Luthor, who have been killed and propped up like a big feast to send a message. So yeah, it is great. And yeah, this would be very funny if they just like end up falling out of the wall into someone random's room. Like they just like into Rhaenyra's room or something like that. Like they just like start pushing on every little wall that they can find, and eventually they like actually break through and come out from behind someone's bookshelf. But yeah. And yeah, no, this is fair. Like it would be kind of weird and hard to film them being completely trapped in pitch black inside of the walls. So yeah, that might be a good point that maybe they won't spend too long in there. But okay, so I have been asked in previous streams, and because there are all the cats in this episode, I have been asked to show pictures of the cats. So we have got cat tax to be paid. These are many of the cats that you saw in the thumbnail here. So, yes, this is Lionel. This is Lionel and Chomper, his brother, when they were very tiny, and they lived in this wood pile, and they didn't like me at this point. This was before they were friendly. So I had to take this picture from a distance, but this is them staring out over their kingdom. Their mom raised them inside of this pile of firewood, which is all stacked up. And this is them over last winter when they were just adopted, living in my house in a little box. This is Lionel when he was still in the barn. He got friendly in the barn that his whole family lives in for quite a while before he ended up getting adopted over the winter. And this is him when he is older, living in or sitting in his cat tower right up at the top. So yeah, this is the picture where the one on the left here is the picture where I like photoshopped or dragged the top of his head onto Lionel Strong and had the "this is the stuff Lionel" scene that's in one of my old posts, if you saw that. So yeah, that was Lionel. It was when he was a little baby. This is Lionel and Chomper's mom here, Mama Fluffy, with one of her babies from this year who is up for adoption currently, trying to find a home for this one. Otherwise, we'll get the baby fixed and it will continue to live in the barn. But yeah, Mama Fluffy has to get fixed as well. We had an appointment where I have later on, I'll show you the picture, but I got 3 cats fixed or 4 cats fixed this summer, and she was too pregnant to go, so I didn't even bring her in. So she was able to have another litter of kittens. Um, but yes, she is very adorable, little Mama Fluffy. This is Cheeto, who is the big alpha male cat who showed up out of nowhere, and he used to not like me, but then he showed up and like I gave him 1 can of wet food, and ever since then he's just like best friends with everyone now. Like he likes me, he likes my cousins, there's like a little kid who lives next door to this barn. He lets him pet him, even though most of the cats don't. So Cheeto is like super super chill with everybody. Over in the grass here is great grandma kitty. She is like the mother of all of these cats. She's got like 30 descendants at this point. She is now fixed. But yeah, she would not let me be friends with her. Like I would feed her every day, and it took like 2 years before she actually would let me pet her. But now she really likes me. So it's good. Um Here is some of her babies. So on the right here, like far to the right, is when these 3 got fixed and they were living in my house for a bit. And the vet said the most important thing is that they're not like climbing up and down a lot as they recover for the first few days. And then the first day I get home, they have all 3 decided that the place that they want to live is on top of the cupboards. So they were climbing like to the counter, to the fridge, up on top of the cupboards. And so that's where they live. Um, and you can see the one calico girl here over on the left. She was feeding her 2 babies, and this is a picture of her 2 little babies who I was sent a picture of after they were adopted. They are living together as adorable little pets in an undisclosed location in the Midwest. Um so yes, they're adorable little babies. Both of these 2 little babies have extra fingers. So Cheeto, if you notice, he's got some big old paws. He's got those polydactyl genes. And so some of his children have had extra little fingers, which one of those is Mittens here, who is in the thumbnail. You can't see it super well from this picture, but her and her brother, who are in this big cage off to the right here. This is when we got these 4 cats fixed over the summer. Uh, Mittens and Thumbs are so named because they have big extra thumb finger paws going on. And then yeah, Great Grandma Kitty is on the far left there in that little left cage, and then Little Mama Kitty is in the middle there. Here's some other babies who have also been adopted from last year, and yes, you can see a good close up of what they look like with their extra fingers. So yes, uh, they've got those fingers going on there, the polydactyl little mittens going on. And both of these 2 also have that. And yes, Mitten's eyes are still like this. She's got like super light eyes. It's very cool. She's a very cool cat. She's also got like half the length of a normal tail. And I really wanted to adopt her, but unfortunately, she just really wants to be a wild cat. If she didn't really, really want to be an outdoor wild cat, then she would be living in my house. But no, she would not like that. So her and her brother, who are always hanging together, they still live out in the barn. Um, Here's Chester, who is Mama Fluffy's brother, and he's hanging with one of Mama Fluffy's babies from this year, who is giving a big old yawn there. And then some more babies, little baby kitty cats. So yes, these are from the same litter that Mama Fluffy's babies from this year. Some more of Mama Fluffy's babies from this year, and then in the tire here is Peaches, who is also one of Great Grandma Kitty's children, who is one of the ones who lived on top of my cupboards when she got fixed. So yes. And yeah, Mittens is like the prettiest cat. I really wanted her to be a pet, as I said, but unfortunately she was just not having it. So yeah. And yeah, that is the cat tax for those of you who have wanted to see them. Yeah, I think it was I think he was the one, Hemingway. I think someone for sure had a bunch of polydactyl cats, and that sounds correct. But yeah, these little guys are adorable. So yeah, that's the cat tax. For those of you who have wanted to see them, there you go. And yes, we talked about how the dragons are very much like cats for sure. They they are very cat coded in this show. So yeah. And yes, thank you. And yes, they do have extra claws. Mittens at one point when she got fixed, she was living in my house for like a week afterwards, and she got really mad at me. The first day she was living in my house, she was like freaking out and running all over, like trying to jump out all of the closed windows. And I like grabbed her because she like jumped out the wind or she jumped at the window above my sink and then like fell into the sink, and there was like a pan that was dry or that was like soaking and needed to be washed. So she's like flopping around in the water of this little frying pan. And there was a knife in there, so I didn't want her to get hurt. So I yanked her out of there and she slashed me right on the shoulder. And it left like 6 little claw marks because she's got so many claws. So yeah, that was funny. But yeah, they've all got little claws. You can kind of see there on the thumb where they got some extra claws going on. But yeah, so that is the kitty cat family. Um, but yes. So now back to the episode with the cat tax having been paid. Any further thoughts, any further questions about the episode that you guys really want to get to before we sort of wrap things up here? We've been going for 2.5 hours, so we'll start to wind things down, but I got a little more time if any of you have any very pressing questions. And yes, it's just the right amount of claws for them. They all get by fine, so it doesn't cause them any issues. But yeah. So anything else? Any super pressing questions? As I said, I did. Um, yeah. So this is the thing. Polydactyls are often inbred, but also Cheeto, like I think, is the source of all of that in this little cat family. And he showed up later. He was not the father of some of Great Grandma Kitty's. He is Great Grandma Kitty's second husband. So he's got thumbs as well. You can sort of see them on that page. Not as prominent as the other ones, but he's for sure got the gene for it. And apparently they are common in Maine Coon cats, which he is a big fluffy cat with polydactyl like stuff. So part of me wonders if he's not like 25% Maine Coon or whatever. Again, he's just showed up out of nowhere, so we don't actually know. Obviously, he's not gonna ever have any breeding papers, but like you can see, uh, he is, I think, the father of Lionel and Chomper, and I think he might also be their grandpa, because I think he's the reason Mama Fluffy is so fluffy. So I think that he is the father and grandfather of Lionel, and you can see the resemblance. And I tell Lionel that too. I'm just like, Lionel, you look just like your dad and just like your grandpa because they're the same cat. And it's like, same exact pattern. It's very fluffy ears, all of the things. So yeah. I think that he might have some Maine Coon in him. Some of the chat is agreeing, and like being a random wild farm cat, you know, I imagine maybe somewhere in his past. I don't know how much of it would be, but yeah. Ooh, I don't know. I don't know who would be the dragon I would assign to my cats. That's an interesting question. I'd maybe have to think more about. Um, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. These little guys would probably be like Sunfire and like some of those younger dragons who have not gone crazy yet. I don't know if I have. I mean, Great Grandma Kitty would be Vagar, surely. She's the old grumpy grandma cat of the whole thing. Um, and yes, these cats have definitely some Targaryen vibes going on. Yeah. without a doubt. Um, I don't know for sure. I don't know for sure, but there is a somewhat decent chance that his dad is also his grandpa, and that would be Cheeto right here. We're not positive, but he got those fluffy genes from somewhere. But he also doesn't have the polydactyl feet, which a lot of Cheeto's kittens have. So I don't know. It's tough to say. There is another Tomcat who comes by and fights with Cheeto. So like this year's litter from Mama Fluffy is absolutely not Cheeto's litter because all of them look exactly like the other Tomcat who showed up. Like all of these little guys have the same coloring as the wild Tomcat who Cheeto constantly fights with. So yeah. Um but yes. And yeah, Cheeto is buff as hell. He fights all the time with the random wildcat. And Cheeto used to not hang out around us that much. Like he was one of those cats who would leave for like a month at a time and then just show back up randomly. So yeah, he's I think somewhat retired now and he mostly hangs out and just lets me feed him every day. But yeah. And also his fur gets super matted up and he lets me now pull the mats out of his fur, which ever since I started doing that, he loves me even more. So he's got a good retirement going at this point. But let's see. I feel like I saw yeah, so some people were asking about this. They can't go back through the secret door. And I think this actually does kind of make sense because, like, if you think about it, if you're building an escape hatch from your royal bed chambers, right? Like, they're in a royal bed chamber in the Red Keep. You presumably don't want all of those to be accessible from inside the walls as easily. So, like, if you were gonna have it like a one-way lock, you would want it to be accessible from the bedroom so you can get out, but then close it behind you so that like um you can't see it. But also you wouldn't want someone to be able to just get into your bedroom from inside the walls, if that makes sense. So yeah, it's interesting. Like you would think it would be accessible from both ways, but if you were gonna have a one-way lock, it would probably be from inside the walls. So I do think that like that is probably what happened is like they can't actually open it as easily from inside the walls. But now without the light to find their way back, they're probably fairly screwed anyway. Um and yeah, this is the case as well. Like Eamon's door, they could definitely get in from the walls because we saw Blood and Cheese do so. So like that's a thing that either maybe they got rid of or like maybe not all of the doors work that way. I don't know. It's an interesting situation, but like based on what Allison says, I think we got to assume that yeah, this one at the very least is probably a one-way thing. And yes, young Rhaenyra did the same. And like it makes sense, right? You would want the way out that Rhaenyra used to be accessible from her room, but you don't want everyone who knows where that tunnel is to be able to find their way into the princess's bedchambers. So, like, yeah, it kind of makes sense that she would have to come back in through the front door. Uh, so yeah, I imagine that is the same vibe as the tunnel that Alicent and Helena are using here. Uh, and yes, this is definitely assuming it's an escape passage, which I think was the point of many of the passages. We see people using them as sneak around passages, but mostly I think they were built for escape for the royal family. Mhm. Mhm. Um, I don't recall exactly. When does he say this isn't you? Um, and in the Sept, does he say this is you? I know he says that you're better than this. Um, or he asks like, "Is this what you've become?" or whatever when she's sitting there praying, which Damon doesn't take seriously. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I imagine they walled up a lot of the tunnels after Blood and Cheese, but I don't know. I suppose it could have been walled off at any point in the past when someone was, realizing like, oh, hey, wait a minute, we don't want access to all of our bed chambers through these tunnels. Let's wall it up. But I imagine it's after Blood and Cheese. Okay, he does say this is you. Um, I don't know. I'd have to go back and rewatch that scene because yeah, I mean, I know he is kind of just taking a shot at her for being like, "Oh, so you believe in the seven now, Rhaenyra? Like you're looking for omens where there are none." Like that's the whole vibe um of it. Does he say this is you? I thought he says you're better than this when he walks away. Maybe I have to rewatch that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. This is actually a video that is on my to-do list very soon. So funny that you would ask about that because yes, I I have this on my list of videos to make like very soon. It will probably actually be one of my next videos. My big Aria video has kind of taken up a lot of my time because it's over an hour long, and combining with these live streams, which take a few hours of free time for each one, because I have to rewatch everything and um go through the episode to get all my screenshots, and then I like to rewatch the episode one more time before I do this stream just to refresh myself, and then we stream for like 3 hours. So each of these live streams takes like 6 hours of time that could be used to make other videos. But I am gonna try and get that done um, at some point soon. But the short, quick version, since I'm sure many of you will probably watch it anyway, and a little bonus for those of you who are sticking around at the end of the stream here, I think the reason that the others have the ability to raise whites is because they are so connected to the weirwood trees, and the souls of the dead go into the weirwoods. So these weirwood shadows that are cast by the green seers, in my opinion, um, and I just pulled up the scene as Damon is leaving the sept. He says, "You are more than this." He doesn't say this is you. He says, "You are more than this." So what he's saying to Rhaenyra is like, "Hey, you're better than this. Like, you're sitting here praying to a god. You are a god. We are gods. Like, you're better than this, basically." Um, but yeah, so the reason that the others have the ability to raise whites, I think the short version is they are they are weirwood cast shadows, and the weirwoods are the thing that holds the souls of all of these dead. And I think that that connection to the weirwood magic is what gives them the access to the soul to put a piece of the soul back into the body and therefore reanimate the whites. Because when we first see the whites, Gior says that they remember some of what they knew when they lived. Um, so that sort of implies that at least a fragment of their soul has been put back into their body. Sort of like Beric Dondarrion, like pieces of himself are being lost every time. It feels like the Whites have lost far more than Beric has lost, but a piece of them is still put back into them to reanimate them. So I think that it is because of the fact that they're so connected deeply to the Weirwood magic, um, that that is why they can raise the whites. That's the pitch that I'm going to be making and trying to gather book quotes and evidence to support that. But yeah, so whenever I get around to it, that is like one of the next videos or couple videos on my to-do list. So yeah, good question. Very timely question because it's something I've been thinking about lately. Um, yeah, glad you guys enjoyed the little Varys series. I wanted to get you guys like a big backlog before I got completely swept up in the House of the Dragon shenanigans. Um, so yeah, I'm glad I was able to finish those beforehand. I was still planning on doing weekly non-House of the Dragon videos, but I've been just real busy with it being summer and all of that good stuff. And as I said, like these streams take up several hours of prep and then hours of streaming. So yeah. I will I will get back to the other content though as well. Um, like I said, I've had that Aria video working in the background. It's just taken me a minute to get it done because I have to balance it with doing these streams. Um, so this is I am the wrong guy to ask this question to. I don't script any of my videos. I ramble into the microphone, and if I'm like, no, I said that wrong, I could say it better, I cut that and do it again. So I have like a basic idea that I want to communicate, and I'll occasionally have like bullet points, and I'll know like I'll think through the idea and I'll gather the book quotes that I know I'm going to be referencing when I try to make the points, but then I will more or less just start rambling, and like as I go I'm listening back to myself talking and being like, does this follow from like the point I'm making to the next, and like trying to essentially just make sure I'm communicating it in a good way, and if I'm not, I go back and I, as I said, just redo it. um so I sort of just brute force it. I don't write a script for any of my videos. Uh, so yeah, unfortunately, I have I have no real advice for how to write a big large script. Um, if you are doing it for a video, I would suggest trying to like break it down into bullet points, because at least for me, I find that like I can communicate myself almost better when I just have like, okay, these are the bullet points of ideas that I want to get across. And then if I like when I'm not live streaming, it's easier because like I said, if I listen back to something, I'm like, oh, I could say that better. I can just go re-record it again. Um so yeah, it's a thing where like if I was to sit down and try to genuinely script out every word of my videos, I think they would take even longer. And it would probably be harder to communicate that like actually writing it all out ahead of time. But that is that's at least how my brain works. And yeah. Yeah, it is like pretty much all unscripted. Like I said, I'll maybe have like 3 or 4 bullet points that I jot down for a video of like how I want the information to flow, but mostly it is just trying to think about how I want how like the hardest thing to do is to think about like, okay, what information do I present first? What information do I present last? Like in today's video, for example, the one that I put out this morning about Helena and the moon. I start talking in the beginning about how like the dire wolves seem to use the moon as a communication network and like howl at the moon because of that in the same way that Helena does. And I was thinking, like, do I read the whole big John dream that like proves that at the beginning of A Dance with Dragons, or do I first talk about how like the dragons and the others are connected to the moon? And like the way that I ended up doing it is I like teased at the beginning that like, hey, the moon is like a communication network. We see that with Helena. First, though, I'm going to talk about how the dragons and the others are connected to the moon. And then I come back at the end and revisit the idea of the moon as the communication network. Um, so yeah, I don't know, maybe I could have like maybe it was the right choice to read that John quote at the beginning, and I like went back and forth in my head about like, is it better to read this John quote at the beginning, this like 3-minute long book passage, or is it better to like get to the point of like the dragons are connected to the moon, the others are connected to the moon is a communication network. I'll do the dragons and the others examples first. So like it's a yeah, it's a thing that I wrestle with, and I'm not saying I always present information in the best way, but yeah, you just kind of got to make a choice eventually and stick with it. And that's the other thing of like I'll listen back when I'm editing my videos and putting my slideshows together and being like, "Ah, I could say this better now that I've had a day to think about it." And sometimes I will go back and re-record a section of a video, but eventually also you do have to just accept like I've said it well enough. That's the other thing is like you do have to accept at some point that no video is ever going to be perfect. Um and you just got to make it good enough to get your point across. So yeah. And yes, this is a thing that I didn't really bring this up in my videos because I sort of linked the moon video to my others video where I talk quite a bit about the moon as well in that one. But yeah, in real life magic systems and religions, a lot of times the moon is a place where like souls will go and reincarnate, so it's like bouncing back from the moon to earth, or like magic will go to the moon and bounce back to earth. Like that is a thing in IRL magic systems and belief systems as well. Um, so yeah, it's a thing that George has definitely drawn on, and I think it's absolutely what's going on in his world. And I think that was a really cool line from Ryan Condal and crew that he had Helena say that she needs to see the moon. Like that is just another one of those things where he's showing us he really does pay attention to the deeper lore and such. Like even if he's not adapting the book events one to one, um yeah, he is he knows the deep lore of the world. Like he's talking about the moon, he's got green men appearing near the Isle of Faces. Like he's treating us magic lore lovers to a lot of cool things. Um and yeah, I do actually believe that there is probably a second moon shrouded and cloaked by dark magic. I've talked about that in previous videos, that I think it might be like permanently stuck over a shy, like a shy by the shadow might be in a state of like permanent magical eclipse by this fire moon that was harnessed for dark shadow magic power by a shy and in the creation of the dragons. And like if someone were to ever actually travel to a shy, they might see this big hole of shadow in the sky and be like, what is that? And it's just casting a shadow down, and that might be the current state of the second moon. And I talk about that in the video just very briefly. I talk about in Elden Ring how, which George did the world building for, how like you think there's one moon in the sky the whole time, and then if you get the correct ending, or like if you go to a certain ending, you uncover that no, actually the entire time there was a second moon here that was completely shrouded by dark magic. And like Elden Ring again is a game about how the world is in an age that is controlled by magic of this giant world tree, which has this ancient figure trapped immortally down in the roots of the tree and like inside the tree. And like Elden Ring is just so one to one for A Song of Ice and Fire in certain aspects that I feel like they just had George be like, hey, George, we really love your world building for A Song of Ice and Fire. Can you give us the basic layout of that with different names and like slightly different aspects, and we'll age it all forward thousands of years and use that as the backdrop. And that is, I think, what they did. So yeah, I do think that there probably was a second moon in the sky, and if the seasons are ever going to get back to normal, maybe there will be a second moon in the sky by the end of the series. That would make a lot of sense to me. um so yeah, yeah. I don't necessarily think that it genuinely got too close to the sun and broke open, releasing 1,000 dragons. It might have broken. Like the magic to create the dragons may have corrupted and broken the second moon, or as I said, it may have cloaked it in dark shadow. And maybe it is hanging over a shy, which is where dragons come from. Like to me, that just makes sense. Like if there is this place called the Shadowlands that are permanently covered in shadow, that kind of sounds like a permanent sort of eclipse. So like if you can do some magic that drags the fire moon over this center of fire magic and then cloaks it in dark magic where it drinks in the light, because we have that oily black stone that drinks in the light, that maybe pieces of the broken up moon and whatever's left of it up in the sky is drinking in the light and creating the shadow over a shy. um so yeah, I think that that is roughly what, if I had to bet what's going on, I would say yeah, the moon may have broken open and the pieces of it that we see on Earth may be the oily black stone, maybe the red comet, but I do think a good chunk of it is probably still up there cloaked in this shadow magic. And again, if you haven't seen it, I talk about that quite a bit in my like videos on the others and the shadow magic that went into creating the others and all of that good stuff. So if you want like a couple hours of me trying to figure out what's going on with that, it does exist. So yeah. Um, but yeah. Yes, that one is next on my list to create. I will probably just do that one next because it shouldn't be like over an hour long like my Aria video currently. That is coming out tomorrow morning. But yeah, this one should be a little quicker to make, which will be nice. Um, and yeah, Elden Ring is difficult to decipher because there's two people who worked on it, but like what you have to keep in mind is they had George like set the table, right? Like they're like, George, create the world building for this, and then we will age it forward thousands of years. So like the stuff that is at like the base level and like is the core aspects of the world, a lot of it came from George, and then they like fit it into their lore and like moved the world forward. So like, and you can see that, right? Like you have to kind of pick and choose like, okay, what lines up with what George is doing in A Song of Ice and Fire? Well, there's an ancient immortal god being basically who created this age by melding themselves with the world tree and is still immortal inside the tree thousands of years later. It's like, oh yeah, that sounds a lot like Bran the Builder, doesn't it? Like if Bran the Builder is anything like our Bran, he's probably melded with the World Tree deep below Winterfell or the Wall or the Night Fort, whatever. Like somewhere down in the Weirwood Roots, there is an ancient being who built this age, whose descendants are still in charge 10,000 years later because they magically control everything. And that's what I think Bran the Builder is. And you can see that that is like very similar in Elden Ring. So then all of a sudden, when one of the endings of Elden Ring, where you're trying to move beyond this age of the tree, involves uncovering the second moon, which is cloaked in dark magic, and then you're like, oh wait, yeah, in A Song of Ice and Fire, George told us there's a second moon, and it was used to create the dragons, and the dragons are created in Asshai by the shadow, which is shadow magic, and there's this oily black stone that drinks in all the light. Dang, it kind of sounds like maybe the second moon is covered in shadow magic in A Song of Ice and Fire too. Like the stuff where it just lines up directly, I feel like you can draw connections to. Um, but yeah, it's tough to know for sure. I think really if you're going to make conclusions about A Song of Ice and Fire based on Elden Ring, it needs to be something where it lines up with what we're told in both stories, in such a way where you can feel like okay, like yeah, that is probably something that George has had in common in his world building in both worlds. And, we'll never know until we get like the rest of A Song of Ice and Fire, but I think there are things where like if you're gonna make me bet on it, I'll be like, okay, yeah, I think that element is absolutely connected to both of the worlds. That's kind of how I feel. Is like you're not 100% sure, but like it's above 50% that like, oh, George is doing a very similar thing here. So yeah. Um, let's see. A single other that works two jobs, loves their whites, and never stops. Yeah, that is good. That is good. They got a lot of whites to take care of, man. They're just trying to conquer the world for their little baby whites. That's what they got to do. But um, but okay. I I've been going for nearly 3 hours here, so I am probably going to start to wrap this up. Thank you guys very much for watching. There is, as I said, a video that came out this morning. I got another video coming out tomorrow. If you're new to the channel, I've got videos comparing Elden Ring to A Song of Ice and Fire. There's plenty of stuff for you guys to check out on the channel, so I absolutely hope you guys go and do that. I will be back next week to talk about the next episode of House of the Dragon, where lots of crazy stuff should hopefully be going down. So yeah, thank you all very much for joining me, and I'll talk to you all later.